Yes, guys, how you doing? Welcome back to the multi-stream. I know what we're going to call it. It's like the metaverse, the multiverse of StreamYard love.
We're going to call it, if you can't see what we're doing, because we're 5 points clear, mate.
If you can't see what we're multi-streaming from, then you can F off down a single stream sort of channel. How's everybody doing? We are 5 points clear at the top. Sorry for the delay. It is 5 to 11. I hope everyone's still got another hour and a half so inside, and then we're going to be talking about all sorts of things. Let's just start by getting straight into, well, first and foremost, let me say massive shout out to Anna Dawes with a super chat to get everyone into the mood. Big up, Anna. Good to see you.
Set the tone.
Handball decision was a joke. Van der Ven, what a unit. Kulu is one-dimensional. Sons replaced his Ali friendship with Madders and is thriving on it. Great to see Ben 10 back. Johnson good showing tonight. I mean, there's 9 different takes in there, Henry. I'm going to allow you to break them down. How many do you agree with? How many do you disagree with?
Handball decision was a joke. Van der Ven was what a unit, absolutely. Kulu one-dimensional. Maybe a little bit harsh, but I can see your point. Some replaced his Ali friendship with Madders, and he's thriving on it. That's James Mascoigne to you, Anna, by the way. That's James Mascoigne. Great to see Ben 10 back. Yeah. Johnson, good showing tonight. Yeah, I thought he was very good. I'm not going to lie. And, you know, the best teams in the league don't have to be at their best to win games. It's as simple as that. They don't have to be at their best to win games. And we certainly weren't at our best today, but we got the job done. So, you know, that's what we can, you know, just look at. We'll dive into the performance, the ins and outs of it. But I thought overall today, you know, we were the better team overall, better chances. I know we only had one shot on target, but, mate, we're top of the league.
We are top of the league. Anna, thank you so much for the super chat. We got more super chats coming in. We want to say, get them all. We want to say to everybody first and foremost. But before we do, guys, we've got, because of the last show, we got at least one T-shirt. We got one Tottenham shirt. We're going to give away the third kit tonight first, right? But depending on what you lot do, what you little lot do in terms of supporting both channels here, then we've also got a home shirt. I've still got the plastic bag for the other one as well to give away as well. What we're going to do, though, first and foremost, is ask you. The rules are simple, right? There's 2 channels streaming at once here. Need you, if you're watching this through Spurs Talk Show, through my channel, need you lot to smash the like button like you always do, the Spurs Talk Show ponies, the Spurs Talk Show puppies, and all that lot. And also hit the subscribe. I then need you lot, if you haven't already, to then jump onto Henry Wright's stream and smash the like button and smash the subscribe over there. And I need everyone that's on Henry Wright's stream to do the same, the reverse. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, and then come over to Spurs Talk Show. You can choose whichever channel you want to spend the time watching the show on. That's fine. It doesn't matter. But just make sure that if you're hitting a like on one, you're hitting a like on the other. And Henry and I will continue to do watch-alongs together. We enjoyed it today. Henry, did you enjoy doing the watch-along today?
Absolutely. I thought as a duo, we dealt with it quite well. I've just sent you a sync about I've been copyrighted both.
Streams. Yeah, I'll send you those things. Don't worry about it.
Can I just mute the song?
Oh, I'll just send you I've got the license. I'll just send you the license.
Apparently that takes 28 days.
No, it doesn't.
It's saying here, you'll get a response within 28 days.
No, it's fine. You'll put it in. No, you've got 28 days to just trust me. I'll send you the license. Just copy it and put it in, and everything gets put into like a
okay, I'm with you.
Into like some sort of escrow until then. So don't worry about it. You'll be fine.
Yeah, I thought the watch along, you know, we need to do that more often. I thought, you know, people clearly enjoyed that. And it's you know, doing a watch along on your own at times can be a bit of a slug. But, you know, we stuck it out. We got the 3 points. What I
want to show you just quickly, guys. I want everybody you got to smash the like button, you got to smash the subscribe, you got to do that. I'm trusting you all to do that on both channels. But for the rest of you, what you can also do is you want to participate at the end of the show when we're doing the draws, and you got to hit hashtag 5 points clear into whichever channel you're watching, and it will pick it up. Hashtag 5 points clear, and you will get involved in a shirt draw for a men's large, UK men's large home shirt, and or a hashtag men's large for a third kit. So make sure you get that stuff in there, and we will get going from there. Second super chat, got to get through it quickly. Where is it? Here it is. Blaine Dev, my man Blaine. How are you, Blaine? Good to see you, buddy. The lineup of Sean and Henry reflects tonight perfectly. Two of the best creators, one stream, and all celebrating 3 points. Love that, mate. 1, 2, 3. How are you, Blaine? Massive support of the channel, buddy. I hope you're doing well, happy and healthy. I'll be giving away the prizes that you sent over to me as well on the next one, the next stream that we do, the next watch along. Mate, massive support of the channel, both channels, in fact, several channels in the community. Absolute legend. Keep it hashtag 5 points clear, please, guys. That's all you got to put in, and we will get back to it. Henry, where do you want to start, my man? Where do you want to start with the kind of the overall conversation tonight? I'm going to get this StreamYard link to some people.
Where do I want to start? First half. Henry, that's unfair on subs who don't do Twitter and Facebook or Insta. I'm not sure what you mean, mate. I want to start tonight with talking about the first half, because I think there's a couple of worries in there. I don't think that overall Henry will be the first. Big up to Unknown Why. Henry, I'm not saying that because I'll get big up Henshawn Buttright. What? Jesus Christ. Just quickly, that stream has been taken down from YouTube.
What stream?
The watch song I've just done.
What do you mean?
They've taken it down until I sort out the copyright strike.
They haven't taken it down,
mate. It's
got ineligible, right? It's got ineligible. That's what it says, right?
It's got off, and then the ineligible option.
Yeah, don't worry about it. I'm sending you the thing now. Don't worry about it.
You can only get 3 claims, and that's it, mate. It's
not a claim. It's not a claim. It's not a claim.
Whatever it is, we'll sort it out. But yeah, the first half, I don't think overall we were. I don't think overall we were that great. I thought Palace were probably the better team for the first kind of 35 minutes. I don't know what you think, but like, what did you make of the first 35 minutes? I just think overall we weren't that great. We were second to every ball. Palace did their game plan, made it hard for us, and we just kind of got on with it from there.
Yeah, I thought we had the first 5 minutes. I think the momentumometer, or whatever you want to call it, I think nailed it. Essentially, we had the lion's share possession, but didn't do anything with any of it in the first half. And in the second half, and when they had it in the first half, it certainly they sort of had more conviction. And I think if it wasn't for Vicario, then we would be in massive trouble. So, Henry, look, I was just going to say to you right now, all you got to do. Right, sorry guys, just press pause on the thing. Click on the request review, right? In StreamYard.
Hang on, live.
Go to live, hover over copyright. Sorry everybody, just give us 2 seconds because Henry's panicking about ineligibility.
It's not. I can't. It won't let me do that part. It only says it says see details, and then it gives me 3 options, which is trim out segment, replace song, or mute song.
Yeah, no. To the bottom though, right on the bottom it says epic commercial drum and bass. Click on the 3 dots.
Yeah.
And then click on dispute.
Yeah.
Then click on the box at the bottom that says my dispute isn't based on any of the reasons above.
Yeah.
Then click on continue.
Yeah.
Then click on license.
Yeah.
Then click on continue.
Yeah.
And you say click on the I have permission.
Yeah.
Click continue and then paste into the box there what I've just sent you.
Yeah.
And then click the check the 3 buttons and then type in your name.
That's all you have to do.
You have to do, mate. Right, and it will go now to limited because it's waiting to figure out whether or not your
it's now going to escrow.
Yeah, limited escrow. Yeah.
All right, sweet.
And the same thing,
people.
Sorry about that.
It's just Sean's got some ad-free music which I don't have the license to, and now we're Henry Wright and Sava affair is needed. Mate, what is the matter with Sava's going to come on in a minute? Like, people could just chill out. All right, like making up these random names.
What's that? What's happened?
No, just like, when like ages ago, people used to do Henley Wong TV, Henry Wright, Henry Dish, Sean Butler knows whatever this and that.
Yeah. Everyone putting the 5 points in. Let's get back to the football then. So let's start with Vicario, mate. Is he the greatest £15 million goalkeeper that's been bought?
I thought he was about to say, is he the greatest goalkeeper of all time?
Well, he's the best goalkeeper in the Premier League this season. And if you don't know what Vicario's doing, you can F off down the Onana path for all I care. Yeah. I think that he's been absolutely sensational. And I'm a big fan of his. He had nothing to do with the third goal. He couldn't stop the third goal, could he? Let's be honest.
No, like let's be honest. That's an unbelievable finish for the third goal, right? And you don't mind conceding the goal if you're a goalkeeper. You hate it, but when a shot goes like that past you, you can't do a huge amount against it. The first half, right? I thought we were second to a lot of balls. I don't think we were that great. I feel like we just kind of got through and managed it out. I thought they were better than us. They had more shots at goal in the first 15, 20 minutes. We had a couple of chances. We only had one shot on the game overall, which is quite poor. But the outstanding thing from that game is Ben Davies cannot play this style of football. He cannot play this style of football. He's too slow. When he was trying to invert at one point, he was playing as an attacking midfielder. He doesn't have a good enough touch. I don't think he's technically strong enough to play it. You look at the likes of Porro, he can play that role. He is good at going forward. He's got the pace to get back and recover. That was the standout thing for me. The second standout thing for me is Richarlison needs to leave this football club. If we get an opportunity to sell this guy,
what do we do? What do we do, mate? Let's pause on the game review for a minute here. I think everybody watching that, even those people that are saying give him time, like, to me, I think that he's had enough time. I think that he's demonstrated what he is and what he isn't. What he isn't is a technical footballer. What he isn't is a player that can take the ball on his first touch, that you can rely on when you've got like a break, when you're trying to break away, you need him. You need players like him to be able to get the ball first time into their feet and then first time it's somewhere else or do something with it. I'm not going to say he was completely awful today because I think he did a couple of things that were quite clever. I think he did one touch pass into Ben Davies' feet in the first half a couple of times, but Ben Davies didn't know what to do with it. But I also thought that the bone idle laziness that was on demonstration when James Maddison had the ball and was trying to create space against two Crystal Palace defenders, the right back and the centre back, I think it was, or the right back and the midfielder, and Richarlison wasn't even looking at Maddison and wasn't moving.
Standing in the way.
Standing in the way. Like, I got no idea what on God's green. I don't know whether this guy is battling major demons in his head where he just doesn't care at times or where his confidence is shot. But I just don't think that we can rely on him on the left. And we've got other options now. We've got Johnson, who I thought was brilliant when he came on. We've got Brian Hill. We'll talk about both of them. But do Tottenham need a left winger in January, given that Perisic and Manuel Solomon are out? Or do we just focus realistically? You're not going to get 4 or 5 players in January. You're only going to get 2 or 3. Does one of those need to be someone that can do the left wing job, or do we have the options in Brennan Johnson and Brian Hill, and we go for a striker instead?
To play kind of one game a week, I don't think we need 7 or 8 forwards. I think if we were to sell Richarlison for 30-40 million quid, I'd much rather bring in a backup centre back. That is the number one area we need to strengthen the backup centre back.
And what player do you want in that regard? Because you saw today, Ben Davies playing left back without any pace. They targeted him, right? He's got no pace. Eric Dyer if Eric Dyer came in between now, God forbid something happens to Van de Ven or Romero.
Oh, it's curtains.
Because he's got zero pace. Zero pace. And when you can't play, that would have to change the entire system. You couldn't play the high line with Eric Dyer. You couldn't play the high line with Ben Davies as a centre-back. You could barely play it today with Ben Davies as a left-back. Defensively, they targeted him. So for me, if you're going to get a centre-back in January, it has to be someone that's got pace for days. Even if they're not perfect with the rest of their game, they need to have the pace to be able to at least offer some threat in the event of a ball over the top or a played in behind.
Man, I think if you're looking at defenders out there, there is one that we've spoken about a lot, and I would look at potentially going and getting Tosin or a bio. Like, he's played one game this season, which isn't great. He's fairly good on the ball. He's fairly quick. He's good in the air. He's English, which will help our homegrown role, the homegrown quota.
He's injured now, though. He's injured right now, isn't he?
Yeah, but he's going to be back middle of November, which gives him at least the fixture pile up in December to kind of build up his match fitness. And in January, you could pick it. I reckon you pick him up 10 million quid in January.
Yeah. Him or Lloyd Kelly. Because Lloyd Kelly's out of contract as well, right?
I think Tosin or Bio personally.
Same.
Come out of Man City's academy. To come out of their academy, you've got to be a good player. You've got to have something about you at least. Yeah. I look at Lloyd Kelly and I just think, is there enough there? I'm not so sure. If money's going to be tight, I'd rather go and spend 10 million on Tosin and O'Brien than spend, because Bournemouth are going to want more because they're not in a position to sell. Whereas Tosin and O'Brien is injured at the moment, are going to have to fight his way back into their team. I'd rather go for Tosin.
Oh, Tosin Adarabioyo. He walks back into that team. Diop's injured. Diop's out injured for a while, and that guy, who was the guy that came in?
They've got Ream and they've got who's the other guy?
The guy who played on
us.
Monday night was absolutely terrible. Bisser? No, not Bisser.
What was his name?
Ends with a B, I think. Hang on. It was
just quickly big up Rooksy Pop. Hope you're well, mate.
Bassey, not Bisser.
Bassey's not a bad player. That was just one bad game. I've seen him a couple of times. Right.
Well, he can't play on the right though. He's a left-sided.
He can't play on the right. I agreed. Rooksy Pop, big up. Hope you're well, mate. New Zealand. I think that is a New Zealand dollar, isn't it? Up the Kiwis for the weekend.
Yeah, good luck.
Good luck, mate. If Spurs don't win the title, is he a bottle job? This guy has an obsession with Emerson Royale, by the way. Like, his obsession is like pure obsessed.
What, in a good way or a bad way?
Good. Like, he always used to message me on Twitter saying, "Oh, if you can't see what Royale's doing, mate, you can F off down the Emirates."
Just quickly, Blaine also came back in with a second one for you, Henry. Have to replicate my live here to Henry. Big up again to you both. And I'm all good, Sean. 26 points after 10 games. Let us fans dream, as Big Andrew says. Big up, Blaine. You're an absolute legend, mate. Absolute sensational stuff from you as always. And as I say, mate, Blaine was absolutely super generous. He sent me over a couple of signed photographs. I think it was of Graham Roberts, and also one of those White Hart Lane kind of station, like road sign things that's been signed as well. And he asked me to give them away to people. So we'll do that on the next watch along for sure. Let's keep going, guys, with the 5 points clear. I want to get your thoughts.
We need 500 like. Well, no, we don't need. What like target are we going to set?
300 likes.
300
well,
likes.
I said I'd give one away anyway. I'm definitely giving one away. But if you want the other one, if you want two, then we need to get 300 likes on both streams by the end. One of them's going to be given away for sure. Just make sure that you're not from Australia. I don't want to spend more on postage than I did on the shirt, if that makes sense. Let's Henry. Sava's coming on in a minute, I believe. Henry, let's talk a little. Second half, yeah. What was the difference, mate? Was it Højbjerg?
The manager.
Was it the manager?
I want to bring out every substitution he made at the point that he made the substitutions, and I want to go through why I think each sub was right at the right time, if that's right with you quickly. So,
yeah.
Second half, he brought on Emerson Royale in the 46th minute. So, the first minute of the second half. Let me just quickly present this on the screen, and we'll go through it.
Got Jacob coming on in a minute as well to talk us through the game.
So he brought on Royale for Davis. That was the right substitution to make at the right time because Davis is way out of his depth playing this inverted role. And I think Royale come on and actually did a fairly good job. I thought he was fairly good in the second half. Quickly bring Sava in.
Hello, Sava. How you doing, mate?
Evening, chaps. Yeah, my eyes are a bit like that. Like 5 hours of streaming. How are you?
Good, mate. Good. Do you like my chair?
I did see this monstrosity a bit earlier.
Sean, just quickly stand up, turn around, and look at this absolute. It's something that would belong in Elton John's house.
Yeah, it's it's like I feel like it's something from RuPaul's Drag Race or something like that. It's just a bit. It's a bit loud and hey, whatever floats your boat, man. Whatever floats your boat.
It's a bit leery.
It's gonna support my weight for a couple of months. You know, we're okay. We're okay with it. Just didn't realise it was quite as garish as it is. Sava, mate, talk us through your thoughts on the game. I mean, start where you want. First half, terrible, wasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, first half was it's like we were transported back to last year, wasn't it? It was a tough watch. Nothing happened. Do you know what I mean? Nothing, like there was no urgency. We couldn't get anyone into the game. Yeah, sorry, Lee's just someone on my chat just now said that they'd rather have Højbjerg than Declan Rice, and it was like I'm not sure this is anyway. Look, it was poor. It was poor. I thought that Palace pressed us probably more than we thought they'd come out and do. I think lots of us thought that they'd sit in and play a kind of low block, but they didn't. And I thought we looked awful. Dare I say it, I didn't think second half was great, but we did enough. And I think that's becoming a bit of a thing.
The first goal was so important, wasn't it, Sava?
Massively,
if
massively.
Palace get the first goal, they're going to shut up shop and it's curtains for Tottenham because we weren't creating anything. But the first goal for us, all right, you know, you ride your luck, but you put it in the danger area and you're going to get those sorts of things happen. But then once that happens, Palace have got to come out and play a little bit more, opens the game up.
Yeah. Listen, I think again it was Maddison with the quick reaction. I said this guy's everything for me. I know loads of people can have a chat about who's the main player at Spurs. This guy is absolutely everything for me for Tottenham Hotspur at the moment. Again, if you put in balls low and hard, something can always happen, right? Sounds a bit dirty, but you know what I mean. If you drive those balls across the box, and look, we get the goal, but then I thought the second it was such a breath of fresh air for me to see Brennan Johnson in terms of giving the ball and then going. Do you know what I mean? Giving the ball and then making that run in beyond to pull the ball back. I thought that was really good to see.
Just quickly, Sam, what did you think? I thought first half, I thought we were poor. I thought Palace were first to everything. I thought they made it incredibly difficult for us. What do you think changed in the second half? Obviously, the substitutions come on, and I think a lot of them were better. But it's like all of a sudden a switch got flipped in the changing room, and we started playing football again. The first half, I thought that's the worst 45 minutes we've played all season.
Yeah, I agree. And it was, I'll be honest, I was a bit worried because it was like, hang on, we've had that bad 45 against Fulham. And Postecoglou said, I'm not happy. And, fair enough. And then you've come out and there's no reaction. You're thinking, hang on, is this the turning point? But look, clearly whatever he says in the changing room works. And I'll be honest, I thought, don't shoot me for saying this, I thought we were better when Basuma went off. I thought he was really poor tonight.
Yeah, I agree.
And I thought we actually looked better when he went off. I thought we looked better as well when Richie went off. Funny that. Who would have thought?
It's so bad,
yeah.
Sava. Like, do we need to have a conversation? Like, was tonight his last chance saloon, knowing that Brennan Johnson and Brian Hill are both now fighting for spots, despite the fact you've got Perisic and Manor Solomon out. You've got Brennan and Hill that can both play on that left. For me, Richarlison today was shambolic at times. I don't know. He didn't care. He didn't get out of the way for Maddison when Maddison was trying to dribble around two players. He didn't offer him an outlet. He just stood in the way. At times, I see the ball get pushed into him, and he just kicks it out. Next time, he flicks his heel out to try and control. It just looked like he just didn't. He's got the worst touch in Premier League football.
I think that's it. I think for me, Sean, what we've been seeing is in the last 3 or 4 games when people are saying, "Oh, he's been playing better." I think we confuse playing better with hard work, right? That's a sexy tattoo. I think we confuse playing better with hard work. Hard work for me should be a prerequisite. You hit the nail on the head. His touch is almost embarrassing.
Is there a player in the Premier League that's got a worse first touch than Richarlison?
From a forward, no.
I can't think of any that springs to mind. Look, I think the key thing is, do you know he's played 46 games now without scoring a goal with his feet? Like 46 games without scoring a goal with his feet. That's mental.
Not only that, other than his heading ability that he's got, is he better at anything else in our forward line? Like, is he better at Son at anything? Is he better than Kulu at anything? Is he better than I'm missing?
Kulu's better at holding the ball up. Kulu's better at strength.
Kulu's better at everything.
And Kulu represents him more than any other player in terms of if Richie is good at strength, then Kulu's better at strength anyway.
We're missing a 34-year-old Perisic massively right now because he's the only guy other than Maddison that can put the ball into him. And if he's not scoring a header, what else is he doing? Johnson come on, and in the first 10 minutes he was on, did more than the other 60 minutes Richarlison was on.
I think the problem is we keep saying this. Like I remember 4 or 5 games ago, it was like, right, okay, you've got Luton. This is the game where this type of opposition will suit Richarlison. Then he misses more chances than I can think. Then it's like, okay, cool. We've got Fulham at home. Fulham have got no goal threat. This is the game. No, he doesn't score then either. And it's not just that he's not scoring, by the way. It's like he never looks like scoring. And then tonight, the fact that Jordan Ayew, who, by the way, I think Jordan Ayew is a decent footballer, never going to get a goal.
He had a fantastic game, Saba. I thought he was brilliant. I thought he was the man of the match today, if I'm honest.
How is he showing more than Brazil's number 9? Like, it's just ridiculous. Somebody said to me today, like, are you sure his parents didn't just conceive him in Brazil? Like were they having a cheeky little trip to the favelas, got a bit horny, and then flew back to London? Like, this guy, it's got to be Brennan Johnson against Chelsea, right? It's got to be, surely.
Yeah, or Brian Hill.
Anyone, Henry, Jake, I don't get anyone.
You don't want me. You don't want me on there, mate. I've never kicked the ball in my life, so I'm not.
And that's what Richarlison
I'm like Adama Traore minus the speed.
Oh God, I knew you'd have to mention Adama Traore. Like,
just gotta squeeze that in there anytime I can.
Fourth word out of his mouth. Fourth word out of his mouth. How are you, Jacob? You
hey,
good, mate?
Hello. How's everybody doing? Good,
buddy. 5 points clear. Can't complain.
First of all, is that the victory chair? Is it because we're victorious today that you've brought out that chair from the...
Sean, tell everyone in the chat, Sava and Jacob, how this chair turned up and at what time in the morning this chair turned up.
Yeah, so I this is my 3rd chair of the year. As you may or may not know, if you haven't met me, I'm a big guy, and I bought 2 different style chairs. I bought the Tottenham Hotspur racing gaming chair, and it's incredibly uncomfortable for someone that carries around the weight that I do. So that's in the other room. And then I bought a black office chair that when I was watching a Champions League game, I thought there was going to be an absolute screamer, and it hit the bar, and I leant backwards in the office chair, and the entire back of the chair snapped under my weight. So that is now somewhere else. And I don't know how this thing materialized. I don't actually remember ordering it from Wayfair, but at 6:30 this morning, I had a not rat-a-tat-tat on the door. Doorbell went, Bugsy went mental. I got up, I was hungover, I was angry, I was in my underwear, and I went downstairs looking for a fight. I was like, "Are you having a laugh, bro? What you open the door? Mr. Butler, I have a chair for you. I was like, oh, do you?
Antonio
fair enough.
Conte showed up with a chair.
No, I don't know what the accent was. I was trying to be. I was trying not to be. Trying to. Anyway, so yeah, and now it's here,
So
and
you
it's
did order
ridiculous.
this
It's
chair?
horrendous. I did order it, but I don't remember ordering it. I don't recall.
I'm gonna put that
ordering it,
into top 5 purchases.
Look, it's a
I love
throne.
it.
It's gonna
It looks
support my weight.
absolutely immaculate. I love it.
Appreciate it.
But I'm doing well. I'm doing well. You know, hey, top of the league yet again. They can't take us down next week, even if they tried. Feeling pretty good.
What was your
Well, I
thoughts
guess
on the
they all
game,
play
mate?
tomorrow.
Who was the best player in the Tottenham shirt tonight, Jacob?
For me, it was either got to be Vicario or Christian Romero. I thought Christian Romero or Van de Ven, take your pick, because I thought both of them cleaned up behind some shoddy mistakes behind Ben Davies. I thought Pedro Porro was pretty poor at some times, and that ultimately led to some bad stuff. Look, for me, it wasn't a great game. The first half was really boring for me. I didn't feel like we did a whole lot. We just held the ball. There was, I think, 10 minutes where they had 6 shots and we had 0. And I saw some graphic pop up like that. It was absolutely embarrassing. But we know that they're a good, solid defensive side. I mean, before the 4-0 thrashing from Newcastle, they had only conceded 7 goals in 8 or 9 matches, I think it was. So defensively, they're solid. We knew that going into it. It was just a matter of, are we going to be able to break them down? But the answer was yes. The answer was yes. So it just took some time. Sometimes, you know, hey, when you're making a beautiful statue or a sculpture, you know, it takes some time till some people really see what you're working on. And for me, it did take some time today. Today's sculpture was a little bit.
Did we deserve the win, though, Jacob?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Well, how did we not?
We had one shot on goal and scored 2 goals.
Hey, look, there's going to be, I've said this a few times.
That's how not. That's
Sean,
how not.
I've said this a few times that I think, look at how many own goals that we've forced opponents to make. Shout out Joel Matip for the screamer, but that happened because of the low driven pass from Pedro Porro. Today, you make an own goal happen because you're applying pressure. And when you apply pressure,
Jacob,
you're going to see where the leaks and the cracks are.
It's like chatting up one girl in a nightclub and somehow taking on 2. Like, it's mad. It's just,
hey, it's my night, baby. The moon, the way it aligned with today, it's my night. Don't talk to me nicely, Sean. That's just what it is. I just think it's one of those things.
You're sitting there drinking beers all night with your mates, and you build up the courage to have a chat with one, like just one, and it's a numbers game normally. But you go over to the one girl, and she goes, "Listen, I really like you. Do you mind if I bring home my friend?" And she happens to be a 9 out of 10, and you're like, "How did this happen? I'm not sure I deserve it, but I'm going to take it." That's my summary. I don't know. Sam, I think that's a brilliant analogy, mate. I think that's fantastic.
Let's be fair, right? If they had scored, you know, at the end they had that chance. By the way, I thought Porro was really suspect today, but if at the end they had scored that chance and it had been 2-2, could we have really said, "Oh, we definitely deserved all 3 points. We've been robbed"? I'm not sure we would have been able to.
I feel like there was a few reasons why.
I thought we were horrible the first half, and Palace had low.
I thought if Kulusevski was a little bit. I thought if Kulusevski was a little bit more decisive. I thought if Destiny Udogie was out there, we would have looked a different side. Ben Davies in the first 45 was absolute. I didn't even know he was out there, and to me, I think that what are we pulling up here? 5 points clear. What are you giving away? I didn't enter. I need to enter.
Guys, it's 600 people in the chat, right, across two streams. All you got to do is smash in hashtag 5 points clear, and you're either going to be entered in to win one of these wonderful third kits that are horrible, or depending on volume, you're going to get a home kit. So just smash in hashtag 5 points clear. I don't know why only 75 people have done it. There's 600 people in the house. It's free to do. You get an entrance. Smash it in. Sorry,
I want to say another reason. I feel like the reason why we deserve 3 points. Jordan Ayew, I'm sorry, I didn't know we get to play damn volleyball out here. He just just let me go ahead and slide that right on down. It looked like a basketball move. Looked like he was Harlem Globetrotter rolling around and woohoo. And it was like,
another replay of it. It's not handball.
Do you know what the thing is? This is what strikers used to do. bring the ball down, and it might grade you, but can we please? I'm begging the world. Can we please go back to if it's intentional? Because these handballs are getting like it took 3.5 minutes. 3.5. Sorry, it was actually 3 minutes and 47 seconds was the official time for them to look
Yeah,
at that
it's too long,
over
isn't it?
and over and over
Too
again.
long.
I'll ask
Madness.
this, Henry. Let me ask you, right? I said this to someone just now. So when Jacob's going on, we're playing volleyball. I mean, if that had been last minute, right? Last minute of game, James Maddison pulls that across. Sonny brings it down. It's the last minute of the FA Cup final. You're 1-0 down, and he volleys that in. Are we all going, oh no, to be fair, that is hand, but we're not, are we? We're all going, what? That's it. For me, these are the things that VAR need to just go, oh, get on with it. Like, I said it was a goal, and then everyone in my chat said, oh, why do you want Palace to score? And I was like, no, I don't want Palace to score. But
Not
You should be able to tell.
Yeah.
You should, in this day and age, when they've got 1,000 cameras within a 5-foot radius, wherever you walk, they should be able to get better access because they went to 4 different camera angles and they couldn't see it.
Their game day crew was atrocious. I thought the replay guys, the guys who they hired to run camera on their tights. I used to run game day production for different sports, but ultimately, when you look at a lot of their replays, like they even tried to highlight Brendan Johnson at one point, and then they lost him, and then they like frantically got back on. I thought the camera work at Crystal Palace was atrocious. This is something that I've looked at from an American point of view, who's worked in broadcasting and production primarily my entire adult life. I see it from that angle. I'm like, you know, when it comes to VAR and the lines, how skewed can they be because of the position of the camera? And I thought today the camera work was absolutely atrocious. I did like the ref, though. He was letting it be a little rough. I thought Van de Ven was he was banged up pretty hard and he early on, and he still came back and had a really good match. There was a lot of.
What do you think about the ref today? Didn't pull his card out once. No one got a yellow. Oh, was there one yellow card in the end? I think.
There was like 2 or 3 there in the end. Brendan Johnson got one. Joaquin Anderson.
There could have been several in the first half, and there wasn't any. I can't believe Pape Sarr rugby tackled their left winger, and
no, he just gave him a little hug. Same thing he did to Sonny in the box. What are we going to call a foul on that too?
I feel like it was. I mean, there were 3 yellow cards. In the end, there were 3 yellow cards. All of them came in the 99th minute plus. I thought it was quite nice to see, like the ref just kind of letting it go. But did you see that instance? Like when we're talking about VAR, I can't remember who headed it back. If it was either Son or Johnson. So it was at the far post, second half. And the ball was headed back. And it went past the player's arm. It didn't even hit his arm. And VAR had to have a look. And that's where I think it's going mad. Like, it's like, oh my God, it was near an arm. We must stop the game. We must have a look.
Jordan Ayew also got a yellow, by the way.
Yeah. And look, just for me, I think things like I think for me, those are perfectly good goals. Otherwise, the likes of Les Ferdinand, Alan Shearer, Mark Hughes, you know, all the great centre forwards of the old would never have been given a goal. Like if these are not handballs. But look, at the end of the day,
hang about. Sorry, unknown, mate. I noticed in the first stream that you got a little bit of a take on Sonny that you don't rate him very much, and that's fine. But you like Sonny. Yeah, Sonny didn't. You say he had no shots on target, but he actually got a goal. He did get one shot on target.
Talk to me nice as goal.
The one that mattered. But I thought in the first half, Sonny was making all the right runs. I thought he got into good positions. I thought Maddison got down the left-hand side and didn't whip the ball in quick. If Maddison in the first half, in that one chance, just hit the ball across the face of the goal, Sonny was there for a tap-in as well. But Maddison couldn't do it. I don't think Sonny's performance today was bad because of Sonny. I think it was bad because the people that were supposed to supply him couldn't find the supply.
No, we always struggle with that, Sean. I mean, with this low block, when teams do sit in like that, we do struggle to get him involved in the game, and that for me is where I think we've got to have more than one avenue than Maddison. You know, I think that is where I do think we lack from not having wingers that can create. And what I mean by create is, I don't mean every now and then they put one pass pulled back. I mean running at people, whipping in crosses. I don't think the Sun's fault, but equally, I'm one of these people that when people have been telling me that Erling Haaland's had a bad season, you know, the geezer's got 9 goals in 9 games. I don't think it matters. When you're scoring goals, it doesn't matter if Son does nothing for 89 minutes. If you put the biscuit in the basket, you have done your job. That is, Gary Lineker made a career of this.
Yeah.
Gary Lineker
That's what I'm saying.
scored goal after goal after goal and did nothing.
Sava, I think it was you I heard say about Richarlison. You're like, he works hard, he does this, that, and the other, but like, I'd rather he did nothing and got a hat trick than him work hard and have no goals. But I mean, to his credit, I guess he's got 3 assists, and 1 goal. So 4 goal contributions, which is more than some left wingers in the Premier League.
Some of the performances though, like have been
This is
some of those assists were like the goal against Fulham. Like I went hard on Richarlison after Fulham. I was like, once again, he's just an absolute shambles. And people were like, he got the assist. I was like, well, hang about. He passed a 5-foot pass into the feet of Sonny. Sonny then takes the ball back to goal, turns, like shimmies left, shimmies right, step over, pushes the ball to the right, and puts a worldie into the
Rondo.
top. And you're going to sit there and say that Richarlison deserves the credit.
You can't see what Richarlison's doing, mate.
I'll F off wherever you tell me, mate.
Take that somewhere else, Sean. Come on now. Richarlison, Rajon Rondo out there with ice cold with the pass. Crunch time. What they call Fergie time. They're out there performing. You can't take it away from the man.
We're supposed to be playing a system that Ange Postecoglou, where allegedly, on paper at least, he wants his wide men to be wide men players with take-ons, with dribbles into the box, with touches into the box, with all of that kind of the basic prerequisites of take-on players. And yet, I'm not sure if that's Frank or Stewie. He's having a mare. But we don't have that right now. Right now, when you've got Richarlison on the left and you have Kulu on the right, neither of those players want to take players on enough. I think I prefer Kulu 100 times all day, every day over Richie. But I would also acknowledge that Kulu isn't great at the prerequisites of the Ange system of the wide men. And I just wonder whether now that...
I just want to pose this to you, Sean. Like, could this be what Ange's preference, I guess, at this juncture with Tottenham, what his preference of a winger looks like? Because he's using Kulusevski and Richarlison both in a similar way. And they both have similar qualities, I would say, off the ball defensively to each other. And then also offensively, they don't create space left or the right side. They're not going to beat you vertically. The verticality we love to talk about, Sean. They're not going to do that. And
as long as he talks to me nicely about it, that's fine.
Oh, yeah. But see, what Brendan Johnson does in the 60-something minute whenever he came in, what he does is change that. So they've been seeing us rock these 2 similar wingers at a certain time, and then Brendan Johnson comes in, changes it up, gets the assist. I think that is by design. I don't think that was just by fluke, in my opinion.
But let me ask you this. Go on, Stav.
No, I was just going to say that... sorry, that was me putting Stewie out for a wee. Sorry, before he goes to bed.
So it was Stewie. It was Stewie, yeah.
Yeah, can you imagine if we went outside for a wee before we go to bed? The interesting thing for me is this is where I find stats can be quite strange, right? Is when we say things like, like Jacob said there, like you look at Richarlison's assists. If you actually look at Richarlison's assists, it's not like he's had to do anything for. I don't want to sound like I'm just knocking anything, but
simple passes. Like, he's not done anything extraordinary, has he?
Yeah, like his pass into Sonny for the goal against Fulham is like, okay, we've a bad pass into Calvin Bassey made a mistake, loses the ball, and then Richarlison gives it 5 yards to Son. We're going, he's got an assist. He's really valuable. And then I start seeing people. I don't know if you guys saw this. I started seeing people putting up comparisons between players like Rashford versus Richarlison and Martinelli.
That's like the Leo Messi quote. I love it.
Look how good Richarlison is.
Let me ask you this, right? When Brendan Johnson comes on the pitch, within 5 minutes, if I'm not mistaken, within 5-7 minutes, he's barely touched the ball. The ball gets lofted into him. He heads the ball. He's not known for his heading capacity, right? But he heads the ball perfectly into Maddison.
Yeah.
And then he continues his run, uses his pace to beat the right back into the channel, and then finds it across to Sonny. If Richarlison's still on the pitch, does Richarlison continue the run the way Brendan Johnson did?
No, this is exactly what I said when I first came on the stream, right? It was that Brendan Johnson made the pass, then continued it. And it wasn't a continued run like he just went outside on the left. He actually came inside and realised, hang on, I'm going to get on the end of something here. And it was just direct. And I think
And the final ball was perfect.
Right. But for me, we missed that. Listen, everyone, I don't like Richarlison. There's no two ways about that. I know everyone always has got me, but my dislike, I suppose, of Kulu. It's not that I dislike him, I suppose, but I just feel that we've got to have one of the two needs to be direct. We can't have
100%.
two that do the 100%. Same thing, because every one of our goals at the moment, every single one of the goals before Brennan Johnson came on, you look at the goals at the goal against Luton, the goal against Arsenal, the goal against Liverpool, everything is coming through centrally from James Maddison. Whether James Maddison has to pull out wide to create or wide right, wide left, it's Maddison doing it all. And teams will get wise to that, and they will realise that if you shut down James Maddison, you shut down Tottenham. Yeah. So that's one of the
it's like what Arsenal have done, haven't they? If you shut down Odegaard, you limit their creativity.
Right. Absolutely, you've got to have something. You've got to have something different. For me, listen. Everyone knows, right? I've openly said a million times I don't think Spurs are in a title challenge, right? And I'll talk to anyone about that after 20, 25 games. What I have also said, guys, and I don't know if you guys agree with me on this. If Tottenham's two wide men were Salah and Diaz, or Foden and Doku, or Diaby and Leon Bailey, I now sit there and go, you know what? No stopping us, because I.
So can't we do that? Can't we do that? You know what? Hold that thought, Saba, because I just want to get through a quick two super chats. I want to bring that's very topic back, because we have to talk about Chelsea and what's the best way to do it. And going forward, because I agree about the similarity. I think you're saying the same thing, Jacob. The similarities with Richarlison and Decky, and whether or not is it by design? Does Ange want that for this stage or not? We'll get there in 1 second. Just quickly, Blaine Dev, love you, man. Gifted 5 Spurs Talk Show memberships. Whoever's in the Spurs Talk Show channel tonight, make sure if you are the recipient of that, then you're saying massive thank you to Blaine. I know I keep saying this, guys. I've been so.
Has he only done it on the one channel? Oh, Blaine Dev, mate. You're letting the side down here, mate.
Hey, mate, if you can't see what Blaine Dev's doing on the Spurs Talk Show, mate, then
we are Tottenham.
Absolute superstar. Blaine Dev, really appreciate you, my man, and make sure that everyone who's got on the recipient on that says thank you. I'm going to get the fan shows coming real soon. And Blaine, he's come back in with saying, question, lads, when Sarr and Biss go to AFCON, do we play Benny Madders as the 6 and 8 and Kulu in behind Son? Then leave Johnson and Hill on the flanks. And I think that Johnson and Hill on the flanks as a conversation is where I want to take this. But I'll start with you on this one, Henry. I'll let you land on this one. When Sarr and Biss go to AFCON, Benny came in today earlier than expected. I don't think anyone thought we were going to see 3 or 4 minutes or 15 minutes from Bentancur before November, but he's come in. So first and foremost, is Bentancur back? And if so, in January, is that the option? What do we do when they go to AFCON? And then I want to go into this Johnson Hill thing on the flanks, because I think that I agree with Sava. We need some players that can take players on, and those two can do that more than the other two.
Yeah, with the midfield in AFCON, we're gonna have a bit of a headache losing both of those. I would be more inclined to potentially play Højbjerg as a defensive player, and then maybe move Bentancur a little bit forward. If we have Kulu as an 8, there's a big question mark for me over that. I wouldn't mind playing that in a game against Nottingham Forest at home, or Luton at home, or Sheffield United or Everton. But in away games, you saw how easily Palace got through our midfield. Bissouma wasn't that great today. And when Højbjerg kind of came on, he helped us kind of manage that to a degree. He helped it against Luton, against Fulham. I thought he did okay and was quite good. And now it's kind of raising that question mark about what's the plan in January, because he does want to go. And if money's going to be tight, what's the best thing to do? At the moment, if we're talking about games that are going to be played in January and February for the AFCON, I think they're going to
You
lose
keep
3
Højbjerg
games.
right now, don't you?
Sorry?
Well, we were speaking about this on the tail end of the last stream, mate. Like Højbjerg, surely everybody is now not necessarily changing their mind, but at least the conversation needs to restart around whether Højbjerg...
Yeah, Ange Postecoglou has basically improved so many of our players from coaching. You know, everyone said last year that these players can't play an attacking play style. These players aren't good enough. You put a manager who wants to play an attacking style, and now look at our players. Romero's playing out from the back. He's not running 20, 30 yards out of his defensive line and snapping someone in half. Højbjerg has improved tenfold under Postecoglou. He looks a lot more comfortable on the ball. I think some of the passes he played against Fulham were good. It's just that the big thing about is, do we have if let's say Kulu goes in as the 8, like Blaine Dev said, while Bissouma and Sarr out, who's going to go out on the right would be the first question. The second question is, can Kulu play an 8 role? And the third question is, who's going to play DM? Because Sarr kind of Sarr's position.
Højbjerg can play the 6, right?
See, I'm probably going to get pelters for this. I think Højbjerg's better as an 8.
Nah.
I think he's better as an 8.
Nah, he can't cover the ground.
He was our third highest goal scorer last year.
But I think remember.
And bear in mind, we stunk it out.
The second 8, the reason why we can afford to push people forward is because in our current second 8, you have Pape Sarr, who, like you like to say, 70% of the world is covered by water, the rest is covered
and the rest of it is covered by Sarr. Yeah, absolutely.
I don't think that same thing is the same if you play Højbjerg. And Jacob, I'll come to you. Is Højbjerg the guy
as it is?
So is Højbjerg? The conversation now needs to start about, because everyone was thinking that Højbjerg needs to leave. He's going to go Juve if Juve can pony up the 35 million. Last couple of weeks, mate, Fulham, Højbjerg was good. Today, I thought Højbjerg was great. I don't know if I'm going to find out Saba's opinion after I've heard yours, Jacob. Do we need to rethink whether or not we can actually find better value from a midfielder with the money we would get from Højbjerg? Or should we just focus on convincing Højbjerg to stay?
Well, I mean, that all depends on Højbjerg. I think that certain point. For me, I've always said I trust him as a sub to come on for 25, 30 minutes to just shore up what we're doing. That he can do that. That's what Jose Mourinho saw in him. There wasn't... there's a reason why he was our best midfielder for a few years. Because he does the work that necessarily doesn't translate well to some people's eyes. He's always going to give you the good, the bad, and the ugly. If he starts, that's where I have trouble. Now, against Fulham, okay, he did a good job, but I don't want to see him start versus any of the big 6 clubs, even Manchester United. You know what I mean? Definitely don't want to see him start for Chelsea. And so, for me...
you weren't impressed enough by his performance today to think...
No, he did today what he's always done. The good, the bad, and the ugly. He bailed us out of a few nasty little prickly situations. I can't remember who passed him the ball, but he had like 2 people on his back, and he did really well to turn and kind of pass out of a situation in our own. I think we were right on the edge of our own box, if I'm not mistaken. And so there were moments for Højbjerg where I was like, good, great, that's exactly what you're supposed to do. He does the things that he's supposed to do, and when he does them well, I don't think it surprises me. It's not like, oh, now my opinion on Højbjerg's changed. No, I still feel that the position is upgradable, but at this moment, like, if we're only getting 30 mil for him, like, no, I'd rather just keep him and then let him see in the summer what he wants to do. But again, that comes down to Højbjerg. Is he good playing in a basketball reference, the 6th man off the bench type of role? I don't know. I can't speak for Højbjerg's intentions, but I would imagine a man who's a captain of his nation would not want to sit there and be his second fiddle. That's just my assumption.
Yeah, it's a tricky one. So I just think the last couple of performances, I've sat there and gone, this guy steps up. Like, he's a consummate professional.
True professional.
A lot of people like him. A lot of people that were in his position, who for the last 2 or 3 years have played every minute for Tottenham under the previous 3 managers. New manager comes in and says, don't need you anymore, and has prioritized a guy who was here last year and didn't get the minutes under the previous manager, a bigger name manager. Suddenly Postecoglou's flipped the switch, You could forgive Højbjerg for thinking I'm better than this. I don't care. I want it out in January, but he's come in and he's fighting for it. Sava, I mean, I don't know I'm not familiar with your take on Højbjerg. Do you hate him? Do you like him? Do you love him? What's your stance on Højbjerg?
It's like when you get that food on your plate that you go, oh, yeah, I'll eat it, but I'd never really order it. Do you know what I mean?
Mashed
Does that make
potato.
sense?
I love mashed
Yeah,
potatoes.
it's kind of there.
What's wrong with Matt? Hang on. What's wrong with Matt?
Whoa.
It's carbohydrates. Like you're
Sean,
gonna
you
eat
shouldn't be
it, but
saying
you
anything,
shouldn't,
mate, with that chair you're sitting on.
Mate,
leave the chair alone. The chair is having its own YouTube channel.
The chair is immaculate. I think it should adopt its own personality for sure.
But
mashed potatoes, that is a staple of all Southern dishes. So let's
Hang
not.
on, sorry. Salah hasn't had carbs for how long?
40 days. I would love.
You've lost a lot of weight, mate.
Yeah, you
lost
look
a
like, I
lot
was
of
going to
weight.
say, you lost a bit of timber.
You lost a lot of weight, bro.
I've done 19 pounds. But anyway, listen, that's not the point.
Is that the secret? If I was to give up mashed potato, do I get to keep one chair for the rest of the year rather than
what part of you thinks before this 40 days I was just living off mashed potato day and night, like just shoving it in? Look, Højbjerg's an interesting one for me. I think Højbjerg is the perennial squad player that everyone loves, that won't let you down. You know what he's going to do. I think that's great. I also think that he'll have a shelf life of how long he puts up with that, right? Let's be fair. He's going to have a shelf life of how long he says, oh, you know what? Yeah, I'll be the third wheel, so to speak. Especially now with Bentancur coming back as well. You've got one more body that's in front of him for him to jump in front of. And especially playing once a week. So it's all well and good when it's African Cup of Nations and whatever. But in general, when everyone's fit, he's fifth choice, isn't he? Midfielder, he's fifth choice. Yeah. And for me, I think it falls into this bracket.
Good point. It's actually a good point because he's not just fighting, because right now he's fighting for his spot amongst forfeit. But when Bentancur comes back, he gets relegated another place lower. Good point. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel that it feels like he's one of those players where he's good, he's decent, he does a job. I don't mind him coming on as a sub. I don't like it when he starts, if I'm brutally honest. I think so much of our game changes. But I kind of agree with Henry in that when I watch him play for Denmark as a number 8 and he's driving forward a bit more and he's off the leash, I actually think he's a bit better than when he is asked to sit back and just hold. But this falls into the bracket for me of we will realise how limited he is once you bring in better players, right? Once you bring in a Mikel Merino, I'm just chucking names now. It could be any. Please don't get hung up on the name. Like once you bring in a Mikel Merino, a Zubamendi, these type of midfielders, I think then you start to say, oh well, Højbjerg was good, but look at the next level we've gone to. And I think that's where the sentiment needs to go out of it for me, is that if we want to talk about winning things, not talking about this year, but if you want to talk about progressing and winning things, the big clubs don't really care. They'll let you go. So I don't mind him in there, but I do feel that he's very limited. And Sean, I mean, how long would you sit around and know that you're going to be second fiddle? That's got to.
Yeah,
I think
that's
right?
It's a separate conversation. I completely agree with you that you have to convincing him to want to be here for the long run. All part of this project is a different conversation. But I just think that most Tottenham fans had given up and were very willing to let him go because there was this idea, and I've ascribed to it. I'm guilty of it, saying I don't think he suits the system. I think if you can find 35 million euros, then with that money you can go and find a specific player, maybe a youngster who's coming up, or someone else who can play second fiddle to Bissouma and be a little bit more of, like a Calvin Phillips, for example, just as an example, maybe not a youngster, but someone who's a bit more of a dedicated 6. But I'm just saying that what I was thinking over the last couple of games, is a player who isn't someone who's going to rest on his laurels. He's fighting and chomping at the bit to remind everybody. And whether he's putting himself in the shop window, whether he's trying to convince Juventus, hey, look, you're going to struggle to find 35 million euros because of your situation, but this is the guy you're going to get if you can find it,
Yeah,
then
I think
either way, I'm just impressed. I'm impressed with Højbjerg's resilience and his character.
One of the key things you have to look at as well is the teams that I feel like where we say he's done well are the teams where I feel are his level. But that's maybe just my opinion of the player. In the next 4 or 5 games, we've got Villa, Newcastle, Man City, Chelsea. I think these will be better barometers, not just for him, by the way. I think these are going to be much better barometers for our team because let's be brutally honest. I don't think we can play how we played against Fulham and how we played tonight against Chelsea, against Villa, against City, or even away at Wolves, because these teams have players that will hurt you. The last 3 teams we've played, I know people are just going, you're being negative. I'm not. The last 3 teams we've played, let's be brutally honest, Luton, Fulham, and Palace don't have goal threat. They really don't. Villa do. Newcastle do in abundance. Man City do. Chelsea are starting to purr a little bit. And the other one was Wolves, who beat Man City at home, gave Liverpool a really good run for their money. So I think the next 4 games, sorry if this is kind of spun away, is a real big indicator for players like Højbjerg and for the team as a whole. Because you can't play the way we did tonight and get one shot on target against those teams and expect to be coming away with points. So I do think we need to
I think you make a good point, mate. I think that look, there is we've had a good run of games. Now, after this one, we're now moving into a step up, right? The next 5 games, 4 games, whatever, really tough. Chelsea next, Wolves away, Villa at home.
Win those 4, and I'll buy my we're winning the league shirt. But that's what I said. We've got to get through them, and then we've got to get through. 3 of those are before December, and then 7 are in December. Let's get to 20 games in January.
Yeah, and December doesn't get any easier. We got Brentford, West Ham, Newcastle. Also, not Brentford. Sorry, West Ham, Newcastle, Brighton. Yeah, we got some real tough games there.
Yeah. So, it's going to be interesting. So that's why I think it was really important, by the way, to get the 9 points against the 3 we should be beating. But listen, let's be brutally honest. Postecoglou will be telling them that he won't be happy with what he might say on the cameras. He won't be happy with what he saw tonight or against Fulham. He won't.
I haven't seen his press conference. Have any of you guys seen the comments?
No.
I've seen a couple of the comments. I mean, I could read you a quote if you would like that, but I haven't watching. So Ange Postecoglou said, "I enjoy every day of it, and I want the players to enjoy every day of it. Not because we're top of the table, but because we are living the dream, mate. We're playing for a fantastic football club. We get to do what we love, and the rest of it is about honoring that responsibility that has been bestowed upon us. For me, what is important is we are giving our supporters some joy, some belief, and some hope. This is what football clubs are there for. We need to keep feeding into that." That was a great quote from him.
Just very quickly. I've got Lee Gunner messaging me here. We all know what Lee's like. He showed me a picture last year. After 10 games, does anyone know how many games we won and how many points we had after 10 games last year under Conte?
Yeah,
7,
isn't it?
7 games?
Similar to now. Aren't we like 3 points ahead?
Not far away. So we had 7 wins, 2 draws, 1 loss, 23 points, 12 goal difference. Right now we have 8 wins, 2 draws, 0 losses, and 26 points. So
it's irrelevant.
1 loss difference.
Yeah, but also everyone back then was saying that Tottenham can't sustain.
Okay, so my question is,
can we sustain this?
Well, but I think that whilst we're playing different style of football, I'm also gonna maybe annoy people here with a bit of a pessimistic approach here, but I haven't been that I don't think we've been that comfortable against Luton, against Liverpool, against Fulham. I mean, sorry, Fulham was comfortable, but not spectacular.
Great, or do you think? Because I think we could have played that Fulham game 5 or 6 times and they were never scoring against us.
Yeah. Fulham was comfortable, but Luton
were never scoring against us.
Yeah. That's going back 4 or 5 games now. But I'm saying Liverpool, Sheffield United. Tonight, and
all
Luton,
of them got cooked, is what I'm hearing. All of them got cooked. I hear what you're saying, but like at the end of the day, let's look at it the way
we haven't been playing that well, Jacob.
we're not in. Yeah, we ain't even getting out of second gear right now. We'll just wait till we're firing on all cylinders. This is what I've been saying for the other clubs that are saying, "Oh, the only reason Spurs beat so and so is because of that team's not firing on all cylinders." Well, neither are we. And once we are, then I would like to see that version of us.
And I agree with you. You make the same argument for Arsenal. Arsenal are undefeated. They are not on top gear yet. But the question is, when does top gear happen? If it continues to not happen,
well, it's different for everybody, right?
But if it continues to not happen, then can you continue to say just wait until we get there? But if you don't get there, but you still get it done, then are you riding your luck, or are you just not getting out of first gear or second gear? Like, which is it? Because
nothing about our results has been luck. So we haven't ridden any luck. I don't agree with that.
But Jacob, you might not agree with that, but it doesn't make it lucky? Correct.
What's been lucky?
I mean, Liverpool was hell of a lucky.
That's not lucky.
Right? Oh, Jacob.
That's not lucky. What was lucky about it?
United was lucky.
What was lucky about beating Liverpool? I mean, they had the worst refereeing decision of all time go against them.
I've seen worse.
Come on.
I've seen worse.
Okay, right. Let's be brutally honest. And I want to.
I don't know what we're saying here. There's no luck.
Yes, there is. There's been loads of luck.
Of course, there's luck. There's always luck. Anyone
luck.
that wins the league gets a little bit of luck along the way. That's just part and parcel of it, right?
The only thing I'm saying is, right, because I don't want to speak on this, right, is what we're doing right now is no different than what Arsenal did the first 10 games last year. They had one more point than us. The difference is Arsenal went on and sustained this until very late March, April, right?
Yeah.
And they
Arsenal were playing brilliantly last year. I think Arsenal this year are not. And the Arsenal fans, I don't know if Lee Gunner's one of them, but the other Arsenal fans that I know would say, oh, well, you just wait until we get into our usual mode. And my argument to them, my critique to them would be, what do you mean your usual mode? Last year was the anomaly, the exception to the rule. This year, you've come back down. Gravity is taking control again. You're not as good as you think you are. Yes, you're getting it done. But maybe they would use the same thing about Tottenham when Jacob says, you just wait until Tottenham get into first gear.
Yeah.
But I don't know, sorry, into top gear. But I'm saying, but maybe there's an equal and opposite concept there.
What Arsenal did last year is that for the first 20 games, they were exceptional, right? I think they had 1 or 2 losses. They didn't get any injuries really until I think it was December when Jesus got injured. And then Nketiah come in, did 3 or 4 or 5 good games. But the performances stayed at a level like this, up high. Whereas we've won games, like you guys have just said, and I don't think the performances have been like that yet. The difference is Arsenal had also had Europa League last year, and we're in the Europa League until they got knocked out of by Sporting Lisbon. But the drop off to an injury, like they went out in January and bought the likes of Trossard, which is a fantastic signing, right? If we get an injury, if they get an injury to Odegaard, right, they could put Trossard in, they could put Smith Rowe in, they could put whoever. If we get an injury to Maddison right now, that is us done. If Maddison gets injured tomorrow, we don't beat Chelsea.
I want to.
Good thing we don't play tomorrow.
I want to talk on this point, but without being called.
Pick up, Jacob.
Negative, right? And I know. Actually, I don't even know why I bother. I know I'm going to get called negative. I want to come at this from 2 points of view. So please, everyone in the chat as well, hear me out. From the point Henry made there, comparing Conte's start last season and this start this season. All I've heard for a long time was the difference between this year and last year is the style of football. I'm going to be brutally honest. In the last 4 or 5 games, I don't think that's true. I don't watch tonight. I didn't watch against Luton. I didn't watch against Sheffield United. I didn't watch against Fulham and go, oh my God, we're playing great football. I've watched in all of those games and seen a dogged team that have stuck in there and a couple of moments of quality. Now, before anyone goes mad, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. But for me, I do think that means that everyone's just getting a little bit carried away with when we do the Ange ball, right? And I know that will come, but I think people need to get their feet on the ground with that. And the reason I say, when I say to people, like everyone, like I know, like Dave, Irish Hotspur, when I watch him, he's like, we can win a league. And right. The reason why I always say to people, I keep my feet on the ground of this is because style aside, whatever aside, we are only 3 points better off than this time last year, right? There's nothing wrong with that. But what that means is to keep doing what we're doing now, yeah, the performances are going to have to improve, right? When we start playing better teams. And the consistency is going to improve there. Because like Henry said, Arsenal's performances last year, right? Everyone for 30 games, I think it was around the 30 game mark, right? And I'm going on to all these shows like the Football Terrace going, you guys ain't winning the league. And after about 25 games, 28 games, guys, my arsehole's going like this because I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm going to be massively wrong.
Let me play the counter just quickly.
I have a counterpoint as well.
When we played badly and got it done, it's usually against teams that are doing the low block. But we're finding a way to get through the low block, which Arsenal are also doing. I know Liverpool is maybe the exception, and we don't really know what would have happened had there been 11 versus 11. It's difficult because it all changed so quickly.
Hey, but play better, don't get sent off. It's that simple. Sean plays cleaner, don't get sent off.
I hear you. I'm not saying
ref didn't play no luck. What are we doing here?
I'm not dismissing the victory against Liverpool. I think we did what we had to do, and they didn't. And there was whatever, a bit of luck. But Manchester United, look, they didn't take their chances. We did. Luton, people saying, well, Luton could have scored against us. Yeah, but we could have had 3 against them. We could have been 4-0 up in 5 minutes. My point is that when we play against the better teams, just like Arsenal play better against the better teams because the better teams don't want to sit back and low block and bore the life out of the game. Does our system not suit playing against better teams who are willing to do it? But I'm expecting Tottenham Chelsea to be a far more free flowing game, and I'm expecting Tottenham if we can zip the ball around. I think we're going to have more chances, more opportunities, and I'm expecting less frustration because the last couple of games, Luton, Fulham, Sheffield United, those teams came and parked the bus, and we had to find a way to break them down, which we don't usually do, but we've done it this year so far. And so I'm thinking, as the games get harder, on paper, Tottenham's play gets a little bit easier.
Can I just say as well, I knew when I said what I said just now, I knew that some people in the chat wouldn't quite understand what I'm saying. I'm not finding a negative in it. What I'm saying is the reason why I'm keeping my feet on the ground is we're having loads of the ball for sure. But when you're having 60, I mean, I don't even know. What did we have tonight? 70. Here we go. I'm going to say tonight we had, according to this app, it depends which app you look at, we had 76% possession. That's wonderful. When you have one shot on goal, 76 possession, it could be a Conte team with 30% of the ball. Not that it was, but 30% of the ball, or a Postecoglou team with 76%. We had one shot on target. For me, as I said,
what I mean, but they park the bus, right? Against Chelsea, if we have 77% possession against Chelsea, I'm pretty certain I can say that we're going to have 15 shots on goal in that scenario because Chelsea are
a lot more open game, isn't it? Because they're going to come at us.
I agree. But naturally, we've got to do that, right? We've got to step up the performances. It's all. I hear what a lot of fans say, like, this is what teams do. They win playing not badly, but not playing their best. That's great. But the problem is every game at the moment we're saying, well, we weren't at our best. We weren't at our best. What was the last game for you guys where you thought we played well? Really well. When did you, be honest, please be honest. When did you last think?
Burnley, I thought we were really comfortable.
Arsenal, I thought we went there and did well.
Arsenal, probably, yeah.
Right. For me, the last hour against Arsenal is the last time when I went, God, that was some really good football.
Arsenal, yeah.
Since then, I'll be honest, I've been a little bit like, don't get me wrong.
But all of the teams we played against, with the exception of Liverpool, have parked the bus.
Right. And that's what we're going to have to figure out as the season goes on. But for me, I'm really hoping, as you said, Sean, that against Villa, against Chelsea, against Newcastle, I'm really hoping that we do start to see some football, because at the moment, I think we've lost that. In the last 3 or 4 games, the flow of football isn't there. The speed of passing, the zippiness isn't there. It's a new team. People are going, oh, you've got to remember it's a new team. I am. That's why I'm not talking about winning titles. I am remembering it's a new team. But my whole point was, Sean, from what Henry said.
I hear you. I hear it. I hear your point.
When Arsenal did this, right?
Yeah, no one was giving them, or at least we weren't giving them the credit. And I get it as
And
well.
they
Like,
were a
you got
much
to
better
keep the
team.
same energy. You got to keep the same
And
energy, right?
And they were a much
But
better team.
I do
problem
believe,
was-
I do reckon though, Saba, I do reckon that more people who are Tottenham fans were looking at them after 10, 12, 14 games thinking, I'm not going to give them the audible credit of being in a title race because
Yeah.
they're Arsenal. But deep down, I'm terrified that they are in a title race.
Can I ask a question? I'd just love to ask a question. I'm seeing a lot of people now say, Savvy, I'd love to know what I'm negative about. I'm just saying be cautious because this time last year, do you remember what it took? Does anyone remember how many games it took from Arsenal to go from winning a title to dropping away? Does anyone remember?
Yeah,
It was
sleep.
quick. It was pretty quick.
Right?
33?
In 3 games, Arsenal went from an 8-point lead to, we've effed the title. So this is why, as a football fan, I always keep my feet on the floor because you are always 3 games away from being brilliant, right? Or 3 games away from being rubbish. So I keep my feet on the floor. If the next 4 results, we get great results, I'm going to start sitting there.
As the games get tougher, if we can play better football and fight and sort of churn it out, then it gives you more comfort. I think so. I don't know if you agree, Saba. And then I want Jacob to also chime in and give.
I think it will get a little bit easier in terms of performances because teams are going to come out against us. Like everyone said,
Right.
oh, you know, Arsenal's going to be a tough game because we can't go toe to toe. We did go toe to toe, and let's be honest, we had the better chances on the day. The thing what Man City do week in week out is they've got so much creativity they can obliterate a low block. I remember I can't remember who I messaged last year. Man City were playing Everton.
But it's always sorry, Henry. It's
I was
always
saying,
if you're
City are
playing
going
a
to
low-
lose. They're going to draw this, and they went on
if you're
4-0.
playing a low block team, though, the key is getting an early goal. Once you get the first goal, the other team can't low block
That's
it
what Man
anymore.
City do. Man City always score in the first 20 minutes.
If you can do that, and Tottenham haven't done that yet, we didn't do it against Luton. We didn't do it against Sheffield United. We didn't do it against Fulham. Fulham, the first goal in the Fulham was 40 minutes, 35 minutes, something like that. And then after that, it felt comfortable, even though it wasn't pretty. I think that Tottenham against the low blocks are finding a way. It takes a little bit of time, but we get it done. But against the Chelsea, and then I don't know, Villa might come and sit the low block and do a masterful tactical masterclass against us. But Wolves, I expect that we can get it done. And Manchester City is going to be interesting. Jacob, haven't heard from you, mate. Are Tottenham just looking mediocre right now, but getting the job done because it's against the low block?
No, I think my whole stance on these results that we're getting versus whomever it may be, you can only play who's in front of you is my belief, whether it's bartenders, janitors, plumbers, or Crystal Palace. Does not matter. To me, what stands out is the mentality, the resiliency in moments in which I feel like we would have crumbled before. Today, I saw a team that did not do what it would have done last year. So when I hear arguments about this time last year and how we looked last year, the year before that, to me, Ange Postecoglou is the beginning of a new page. So I'm not even reading those pages back there. I'm not even thinking about that. This is a new chapter. To me, none of that really matters because with Ange's message and the way that he's completely transformed things and the way that the locker room's hierarchy works, I think this is just a new era Spurs. I've been saying it for quite some time. But look, what we're seeing as well is something that I think in the beginning of the season, how I felt was Ange Postecoglou being unknown at the highest level would bode well for us in the beginning of the season. That would mean that these opposing managers didn't have enough game footage to say, this is how Ange Postecoglou lines up in the Premier League. Now they do. So I think what we're seeing is good managers. Roy Hodgson, nothing against him. He had a good game plan for what it's worth. And he had more game footage than, say, some of these other teams. So I think what it is an accumulation of they know now what we're trying to do with our fullbacks. I think it's no mistake. They completely took Ben Davies out of the match. I mean, he was invisible. And Pedro Porro, for all that we've been saying he's getting better at this and better at that, defensively was as scary as we've seen him be. And I think that was the major thing that I'm taking away from today was that our fullbacks are now getting found out and they need to figure out a way to counteract that. There was a moment where Van de Ven cleaned up very well because Pedro Porro got beat in the midfield when he was inverting on the right there. And luckily we have Van de Ven with that blistering pace or else that's a goal. So for me, I think it's just this resiliency. That's the mentality that Ainge is building in these players that is a difference maker.
Can I ask you a question? I think what I hear a lot is, hear me out, right? I hear a lot same things people like. Sorry, that sounds rude. Fans like you were saying last year the same thing about Conte, right? I remember last year after 10 games, I don't know what Henry and Sean's feelings on this. After 10 games, I was hearing people go, the difference is this year we're winning games that we wouldn't of this time last year. We're saying it again this year, which means they can't both be true. So if you actually look, last year we beat Palace away. So when people are going, we're winning games, this time last year we wouldn't have won that game. Well,
I thought we lost last year away where Jaffet Tanganga got sent off. That was the year before that, or what?
Hang on, last year we battered Palace 4-0, right? We beat Fulham at home like we just did. You know, I think what people are getting more excited about is it's the bigger games. It's the Man United, the Liverpool, the Arsenal. All the other games, I think we're doing exactly what we did before. Brentford 2, Tottenham 2. Wasn't that the exact same score last year at Brentford? We drew 2-0 at Brentford last year. We beat Bournemouth last year.
Harry Kane got both goals and he hit the crossbar.
Yeah, we got Bournemouth. Bournemouth we beat away last year. We beat them away this year. Fulham we beat at home. We beat them. So for me, the difference for me is that for me it's a 3-point difference. I think the difference for me more is the optimism about what this could be. Whereas last year, I had no hope that the actual football was going anywhere under Conte. We were grounding out results. This year, I think the difference is we can say this is the beginning of a journey. And that's why, Jacob, when I don't go overboard and I don't talk about winning titles, is because the same fans that call people negative are the same fans that are telling fans like me to calm down. And it's the beginning of a process. So all of the results are the same against the lower teams, but they've just been better against the better teams so far. Key thing for me now is can we kick on and do better than we did last year? That's going to be the be all and end all. Because the football's been okay. It's not been anything to scream or shout about.
I'm curious. Does anyone know? Those results that you mentioned, Sava, did we come back from losing positions in those matches? I'm just curious. I don't know. I have no idea. So I'm not like.
But which of the games did I just mention that we've came back from a losing position?
Palace away last year, Fulham at home last year. I think those were the first two that I remember you mentioning.
Right. So
Palace away we won 4-0, didn't we?
Yeah, Palace away last year we won 4-0. Fulham at home, we won 2-1. I think Fulham, we were 2-0 up and cruising. And
Fulham 2 offside goals, didn't he? He took your shirt off.
Yeah. Tottenham versus Bournemouth last year. The difference was, we did come from behind. I'll give you that one. Brentford was 2-2. This year, Brentford was 2-2. We came from behind like we did this year. So for me, I think it's very different this year to last year. But I think what is different is not what's happened now. I think it's what we're looking forward to in the future that is different. Because to go back to Sean's initial point, when he said, I'm going to get pelters for this or whatever he said, the actual football, when people are talking about the football coming off the pitch, it's okay. I haven't finished any of the last 5 games other than the Arsenal game and gone, God, that was some good football. It's been okay.
But every team we played since then, with the exception of Liverpool, which we don't know what would have happened had there been 11 men on the pitch, has been against low block teams. And I think that's just, it's a variable you have to consider. And Arsenal found a way to get it done and don't always look pretty. Last season, they didn't look pretty always against teams that sat up and parked the bus. And Tottenham are going to have to go through that. But we are now moving into a series of games into November and December where there's probably a higher propensity, higher probability of some of these teams, not all of them, but some of them wanting to come out and play against us. And we're going to see how it goes. And I want to...
I just want to add something to that before we do move this along. Another thing that I was thinking about was how we're scoring this year feels not like how we were scoring last year as well. These are teamwork goals. That was Sarr crossing the play, Brennan Johnson making a nice 1-2 with James Maddison, and then laying it off to Sonny being in a great position. Sonny's getting into those great positions, and he's scoring because these are teamwork goals. It's not individual brilliance by Sonny. So that's what else gives me this restored hope. And Sava, I do agree with you. It's the prospect of where we're going and where this is headed that get me so excited as well. Like, I think regardless of where you sit, and I'm gonna be the first to say I don't think, Sava, that you're negative. I think you are critical of what you see and look for things to how they can improve, and that's not negative. That's just critical
I
thinking.
I'm
agree.
not
I
negative.
think.
I've not said anything. I've not said
No, I
anything.
agree.
No, that's what I'm saying. So for anyone in the
we've
chat,
not played well. People just don't want to hear it. People, listen, there's a difference between me
But
saying I'm happy with winning and we've not played well. There's a
No, I
huge
agree.
difference.
I completely agree, guys.
Yeah,
look,
but-
we're gonna move into the last topic of the evening, which is looking forward towards Chelsea. But before we do, it's last 10 minutes of the show, guys. There's only 137 entries, right? Whichever stream you're on, mine or Henry's. First and foremost, smash the like button. Second of all, get over to the other person's channel. If you're on Henry's, come to mine and sit to subscribe, and vice versa. Also, make sure you're getting over and subscribing to Football Heritage TV and to United Spurs of America. I'm going to be dropping their links into the chat, and they will be in the description as soon as this stream is done. But guys, there's 600 people still here across both streams, and there's only 138 entries into a free giveaway that is happening in about 5 minutes time. So all you got to do is stick in hashtag 5 points clear as you see it on the screen. Don't do uppercase, all lowercase. Hashtag 5 points clear. It's very simple. I don't understand why only 20% of people, 25% of people are participating. Just put that into your
Hashtag, if you can't
chat.
see what Levy's doing, you can F off Danny Emirates.
If you can't see what the giveaway's doing, then you can F off down the place where you don't get a
You
4X.
can F off down the Toys R Us.
Yeah, you can go down the club shop and pay 100 quid for a shirt. Whereas right now you might be able to get one for yourself that may or may not fit you.
Is a triple XL or whatever it is though. It is a bed sheet of a t-shirt.
No, it's not.
Hey,
It's a
don't
bed
be
sheet.
mean, Henry.
Guys,
That'll
it's
fit
for-
me
it's for
nice.
three.
A 3X will fit me nice, Sean.
No, it's a large. It's a men's large in UK sizes. If you happen to be from the Far East, then it's a bed sheet for you because that's the way it is. But just put hashtag 5 points clear in there. But they are perfect. They are 100% legit, all done and dusted. Just happen to be off the back of a lorry, if you know what I mean. So just put in hashtag 5 points clear, and then at the end of the show, we're going to be drawing two, at least one, if not two, giveaways. I'm going to start with you, Jacob, on this one, mate. Let's look forward. We got it done with 5 points clear. There's a couple of potential banana skins for the other teams this weekend. We might find ourselves with a bit of a gap. We've got Chelsea next Monday, 10 days away.
Mm-hmm.
Every chance that, with the exception of Manuel Solomon and Perisic, we're full strength now and have people that have got minutes in the bank. Bentancur might play a part. How do you set up, if you are Ange Postecoglou, how do you set up for Tottenham against Chelsea under the lights at the stadium, the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, in 10 days' time? What are you doing, mate? How do we get the 3 points there?
I'm doing what my manager has already said. We don't change for nobody. We play our game. It's up to them to learn how to adapt to it. So we're going to come at them the same way we go at everybody. And if they want to play open the way that we're going to bring it to them, I think it's going to be a lot like what we saw with Burnley. I think if they want to sit back and try and counterattack us, then, hey, they're going to find opportunities and chances to score. I think Chelsea... we're a team that a lot of people, again, at the beginning of the season, were starting to write them off. And I just felt like once they started gelling, they could be a dangerous side. I actually predicted them, I think, to finish 4th or 5th. And I think that they're starting to get results that that they need, first and foremost. But then secondly, that kind of looks like you're starting to see what Pochettino is doing there. Why I'm saying Spurs are going to get the 3 points versus Chelsea, in my opinion, is because if we don't, first of all, Sean, it's your fault. Henry, if you're at the game, it's your fault. Whoever's at, it is up to the fans to suffocate the air so Pochettino can't even breathe and he can't even speak to his team. That's what I want to see. Now, if we do that and Ange Postecoglou does what he does best, which is set up the way that we always set up, get the best starting line. I want to see Brendan Johnson first and foremost, not Richarlison. I think Richarlison at the 60th, 70th minute might be something good to bring in some brute force to really chip away at their back line, because he is going to go out there and work hard. So I would like to see that hard work when Chelsea's back line has been pretty much worked for Brendan Johnson the entire match. I want to see us stretch the pitch and offer another threat, kind of like what Sava and Sean were saying earlier. I want to see that. So for me, how you get it done, just do what we're doing. play the best 11 that you can get, and you know, out comes the victory kangaroo. The victory kangaroo comes out for every dub, and we got one today, so here you go. The whole world can see it, and we're going to get one again for Sava and I's birthday game. That's what I'm going to say.
Love that. So you're saying the main change is Brennan Johnson for Richarlison. Everything else is
just do what we're doing, but Brennan, just add that Brennan Johnson left or right. I don't really care. Let him run. Give them something to think about, because I think what we saw from Crystal Palace today is they weren't worried about anybody running in behind them because they weren't going to. And so maybe just give them something else to think about would be nice. I know Ange Postecoglou does pick his squads based on merit. So that's why I think Richarlison got the start over Brennan Johnson, because he did get the assist last match. So I think Ange Postecoglou was picking him based on that merit. But Brennan Johnson just got the assist. So if that is factually true, what I just said, then he should and will start Brennan Johnson because he got the assist. So based on merit, he should get the start.
Love that, mate. Saba, what's your take, buddy? How do we beat Chelsea?
Well, make no two bones about it. It's going to be a tough game. I think we've seen a massive improvement from Chelsea in the last 4 or 5 games. It's no coincidence that since they've had a more settled side, since they've managed to arrest a little bit of the injuries and now got the good midfield of Enzo, Caicedo and Gallagher, which is really working for them, they're a good team. And I saw a lot of Arsenal fans talking about playing Chelsea and how they were going to walk through them and how Chelsea were terrible. And I thought Chelsea were excellent. I thought they were absolutely excellent against Arsenal and then run out of steam. Look, Chelsea are going to defend well. They're going to be really strong in midfield. So this is a game where Basuma and Sarr need to be at it. They've got to be at it. But Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez are good players. For me, I think it's pace. I think, again, I wouldn't go far off what Jacob said. I think you've got to get Brennan Johnson in there, something different on the bigger pitch. Let him try and get in behind them. But I think a lot of fans, I keep seeing every game, right? Fans are predicting like 4-0 and 5-0, guys. And it's not happening. I don't expect it to happen against Chelsea either. What I would say is if I was Chelsea, if I'm Poch, what I'm saying is to Sterling and Mudryk is fly at your fullbacks. I think that is where they are going to try and hurt us running at our fullbacks. I think that is where we can be got at. And I think that's where Van de Ven and Romero are going to need to be, like they have been this season, really switched on to go over and cover. So I think it's got the makings of a brilliant game. I think it's got the makings of a brilliant game. I just think it's going to be a real test. Come through that, who knows? But yeah, I think we need width. Width is going to be needed. Width.
So Henry, what's your magic formula for 3 more points next Monday night, mate?
Well, it's 28 games, and then we get the gold trophy. We go undefeated, as I can see Lee in the chat. That's going to be a hard game for us.
Wait, what's that bet you've got with Lee? What is it?
If we lose a home game before Arsenal do, I've got to do the 1 chip challenge live.
Home games only.
Yeah, and bearing in mind, we've got 7 home games before the end of the year. Or no, we've got Chelsea, Villa, Newcastle, West Ham, and Bournemouth. We've got 5, they've got 3. So, as we're, a bigger team and all that, I'd like to give them a few more. I've given them a bit of an advantage. Basically, if we lose a home game before Arsenal, I've got to do the 1 chip challenge. And Matisse did it on the Big 6. And it's basically like putting lava in your mouth.
Yeah.
However, if Arsenal lose a home game, he has to eat the hottest chili in the world. So, yeah, that's a little side note we've got. Some California chili, which is basically like incinerating your tongue. But Chelsea, I think if we've got a fully strength squad, I think if your doggy's back, if Ben Davies plays against Chelsea, they're just going to say, look, run at him. He's weak, he's slow. If your doggy plays, I think a little bit more will be a lot more comfortable.
What if it's Emerson Royale, Henry?
If it's Royale playing.
How did he look
I thought Royale was spectacular in the second. I thought when he came on, he did everything.
But Royale was good today. when he'll come on to a. I think he misplaced a couple of
Who's
passes.
going to be going down the right hand side? It's going to be Sterling, isn't it?
Yeah, Sterling.
It'll be Sterling and Reece James.
Doggy. You need to do Doggy, and you need to do Doggy to stay in his you don't get a little bit too barky.
Yeah,
in the
play
first 20
left back,
minutes and get a
not
card.
advanced, filtered, up, down, left, top, middle, bottom, left back. I think the game will be won purely on how our centre backs play. If they play like we've played today, I think we'll go out and win the game. If there's a lapse of concentration getting, literally light work, Henry, you'll be fine. Mate, we don't all eat lava on the weekend, mate. Some of us don't like spicy food. Some of us don't do that. But I think the game we won.
I need to know who this geezer supports. I thought he was a Tottenham fan. Whoever he is, unknown, who hates
He's a
Sonny.
Burnley, probably a Burnley fan. But if
Romero
and Van der Ven play well,
he hates all about Tottenham. I want to know who he supports.
If Romero and Van der Ven play well, I think we'll win the game because I think they've got good players out wide. I don't know if they've got enough firepower yet to achieve what they want to achieve, and they're desperately looking for a number 9. The midfield, I think, if we allow Chelsea the amount of chances and time on the ball that we allowed Palace, we could get overrun. But we need Basuma wasn't great today. We need Basuma to step back up against Chelsea. If Højbjerg comes in, we need him to do another job. I expect Maddison and Son to be on it. But if we want to win this game, we have to start Brennan Johnson or we've got to start Johnson. I don't want to see Richarlison about, he loves a London derby or whatever it is. The guy's not good enough. If the centre-backs play well, Brennan Johnson plays, and we don't get overrun, I think we'll win the game. And then we go in against Wolves away, which is a tough game because they're probably going to get 80 or 90% of their points at home. And they've got Neto at the moment who looks to be on fire. And then after that, we've got Unai Emery, one of the best managers on the planet.
At home, they're brilliant. Away from home, they are nothing like as good.
Who, Villa?
I'm not giving you. I know that this.
Mate, all I'm going to say is the 2 games after the international break,
I know you two absolutely adore Villa. I've got a gender.
I don't adore Villa. I don't adore Villa. I think their manager is mustard. Right? 2 things. One, after every international break we've played so far,
they're not as good away from home as they are at home. Let's just call it a spade a spade.
I'll tell you what. I'll have a
They're going to put 7 past Luton tomorrow. It's going to be meaningful, and Watkins is going to get me 150 points in my FPL. But
I'm telling you,
away
Villa,
from home, they're not as good. Come on,
Unai Emery will set up against us exactly how he wants. Low block, and we will not be able to deal with Leon Bailey, Diaby, and Watkins on the break. We can't live with that. That pace, mate, I'm telling you, is and then you've got a midfielder like Douglas Luiz who's scored more goals than any of our players other than Son, and he's
Douglas Luiz is going to get absolutely put into his box.
I honestly,
only thing I've seen
so
Douglas
slow.
Luiz do well is bag Alicia Lehman.
Listen, I'll have a 50 quid bet with you right now, Henry. A 50 quid side interest thing. We can't talk about bets on stream, apparently. A 50 quid something on the side that we're going to pay attention to that says that Villa don't score against Tottenham, and you're going to offer me 4. You're going to offer me 3-1 odds.
Hang on. You're going to bet me.
No, 3-1
And he's
odds.
telling you the odds.
3-1. You're going to give me 3-1 odds.
No, you're going to give me 3-1
Oh,
odds.
whoa. I'm not giving you 3-1 odds. I bet you.
Well, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Listen. We'll figure it out.
Can I just say, Sean's assessment of Aston Villa are terrible away. You mean they've lost 2 away games to Newcastle and Liverpool? That's it.
Yeah.
That's all they've lost
scored
away.
13 goals in the last 4 games.
And how many of
all they've
them are
lost.
at home? How many of them are at home?
They scored
How
4
many of
last
what?
night in the Conference League. We couldn't even get
How
out
many
the
of them
group
are
in
at
that competition.
home? How many of those 13 goals were at home? Tell me.
But their away record isn't as bad as you're making out. They've only lost to Newcastle and Liverpool.
But their record is good because they're 5th or 6th in the league. I'm saying, yes, it's early days, but they're not as good away from home as they are at home. Let's just call a spade a spade.
They scored 4 goals on Thursday away from home.
Well, in Alkmaar or where were they playing?
Hang on, we can't. Let's not disrespect that competition. We didn't even get out of the group.
Where were they? Where were they?
AZ Alkmaar.
Yeah, they were in Alkmaar. Okay, I thought so.
Would you like to know from their last 14 away games in the Premier League, how many do you think they've lost?
I don't want to hear it. If you're going to contradict my point with some
Their
facts.
last 14 away games. 2.
If you're going to make me look silly with some facts here, Sava,
4.
then I got no time
They've
for it,
lost,
bro.
they've lost 4 of 14 away games. Look, can I just to back up Henry's point?
We ain't done that.
The worry for me about Villa, this is what I said. If you put Villa's forward line into Tottenham, I'm talking about a title. Now, people might say that's over the top. If we've got Bailey, Zaniolo, Diaby, Watkins, pace, power, goals, that is exactly.
Has Zaniolo got a ban yet from his betting?
No, he's not getting one, is he?
Not yet. But that's scary. Like the fact that Leon Bailey can't even get in the 11, and then when he does come in, he's just scoring goals. They've got
I
Bailey.
hear you. Listen, I hear you. I 100%. I own it. I was dismissive of Villa. I was massively dismissive of Villa in the summer, and they.
It's not about them, mate. It's about their manager.
Whatever. It is what it is.
It's Unai Emery.
They're looking really good. They are looking really strong. They're looking stronger than Brighton. They're looking stronger than United. They're looking stronger than Chelsea. I think Villa are, maybe I'm wrong about them, but
just wait till they go up against the first place team. Just wait until then. Then we'll see. Then they'll talk about Villa.
Stink it out against us. 25% possession, 4-0 or something like that. And I'm going to be fuming. Fuming zone, mate.
I'm clipping this. You're calling it the Villa are taking 3 points away from the lane.
Who said that?
Draw.
Henry just said.
I'll tell you right now, you can clip this as much as you want. We will not beat Aston Villa.
50 quid. 50 quid says
£50. We will not beat Aston Villa.
Draw no bet. Draws no bet. 50 quid.
Draw no bet.
Jacob, it's like being in a stream with Ivan, Tony, and Tonali, isn't it? Look,
mate, the two games
every sentence leads to a bet.
The international break was against Fulham and Sheffield United. Fulham, the second half, we were terrible, and it took a 99th and 104th minute goal against Sheffield United. Aston Villa, their forward line is the second best in the league right now. They've scored 23 goals.
Yeah, number 2 at home. Come on.
They'll score 2 against us.
Yeah.
Let's be fair. The one thing you can say about Tottenham, for as well as we've done, we are giving up chances to really poor teams.
Yeah, I agree.
If we give up chances to these players that are clinical, not just Villa. That's again, this all goes back to what we said. The next 4 or 5 games is really going to show what are we made of. When we're playing the Newcastles, the Brightons, the Villas, the Man City, this is really going to show what we're made of. But Villa will score 2 against us. I'll say that now.
Well, then we draw because Tottenham scored 2 wherever we go, apart from Luton.
Okay, let me
it's
ask
not a very catchy song, is it?
Sure, let me ask you something. out of the defence, let's take away the defence and the goalkeeper right now. Right? Outside of the defence and the goalkeeper.
Oh, there you go.
Right?
I was wrapping this stream up 15 minutes ago, but now we've got the Aston Villa trap.
You're going to answer this question, right?
All right.
This season, outside of Van der Ven, outside of Romero, outside of Maddison, right, are 3 most important players, and Son. How many of Villa's players get into our 11?
Oh, we're doing this again, are we? We're doing it again.
No.
I bet the numbers are different now than they were in the beginning of the season for Henry. Whenever y'all did do this,
hang about. I've got Aston Villa's team up. How many of
Musa Diaby is the only one I can think of. I'd take Musa Diaby in this.
I personally would take Leon Bailey and Diaby over or our wingers.
And Zaniolo.
I'll take both. Honestly, Brendan Johnson, Leon Bailey offer you the same kind of profile.
3 minutes before he's ever bet or he's injured.
Yeah, but he still does more when I watch those games than Kulu and Richarlison do when they're not injured.
Hang on. Let me so you're saying
Zaniolo takes one of those challenges from Palace today, and he's a broken man.
Even though Martinez was in my FPL team, does Martinez getting over Vicario right now? No. Does Matty Cash getting over Pedro Porro?
No.
Does Konza getting over
Hang on. Whoa.
Based on getting over Van der Ven? No. Does Dean?
Hang on, Sean. One at a time. Matty Cash.
You've flown out based on what? What's Emi Martinez done wrong?
Not have the highest goal-saving percentage.
In the league, mate. Vicario's best goalkeeper in the league right now. Vicario's best statistically on every metric. Vicario is the best goalkeeper in the league. So on right now, we're talking about right now. You know what? I'm gonna have to pull this team up. Let's just go through it.
Okay, outside of the defense.
No. Don't outside of the defense it. Don't straw man it. We're going through the same nonsense we went through 6 months ago. Does
He's
Martinez
in it, I
getting
can't
over
see anything.
Vicario? No, he doesn't. I'm
They're
going to
getting
put
that
my phone
work
down.
put on him.
It's going to get picked up by my.
I'm not
by my
sure.
little-
John, can you zoom in? Because I can't see anything, mate.
All you can see is players that don't get in. So hang on, I'll make
Dubs,
sure.
that's what you should be
There you
seeing
go.
right now.
Oh,
Henry.
okay.
All you see is players that don't get into the first team of Tottenham.
Just to
Does
confirm,
Matty
are we
Cash
going
get in over
purely
Pedro
on 9
Porro?
games? Hang on, are we going purely on the first 10 games of the season? Is that what we're going on? Not overall as them as players?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going on this season's form.
Yeah, this season's form right now. Yeah.
Okay, I'll take Matty Cash over Porro. I think Porro defensively is very suspect. The last 3 or 4 games,
disagree.
I think I've been seeing more and more and more mistakes from that guy at right back.
No, but he offers so much more going forward. But
Sure.
if the conversation is, does these players get into the Tottenham team, then you have to allocate the Tottenham formation and the system and think, does Matty Cash do a better
Matty Cash
job?
could play
In the
for-
Just so you
inverted
know, Sean, they play the same formation as us. It's never
fullback?
4-4-2.
It's not the same.
They play 4-3-3. They play
Oh, no, but
4-3-3.
I'm saying that the style with the inversion, I don't think Matty Cash plays that would handle the inverted fullback anywhere near. He's nowhere near as gifted on the ball as Pedro Porro is. I personally would say
I
no.
think he's more solid
Cash.
defensively. I think he's more solid defensively, Matty Cash.
All right, well,
I
let's
think
know in
Porro's
the
brilliant
comments.
going forward.
Ask in the comments.
My opinion on Matty Cash is he's just a GQ version of Matt Doherty. I don't rate him.
No, come on.
Yeah,
just give some insight.
If you were to ask, how many of the Tottenham players get into the
I
Aston
see
Villa
two.
team?
I see
It
two
might be
players here
different
that
because the system's
walk
different.
in here.
Just quickly, Sean. Porro has 1 assist in 9 games. Matty
Don't
Cash
do
has
the
2
stats.
goals.
Don't do the stats thing
Hang on.
because you know that
Hang on, just
Richarlison.
quickly.
On that basis,
quickly.
Richarlison probably gets in over Zaniolo, and we know that's not going to be the case. So,
Zaniolo hasn't even played 90 minutes for them yet.
you know what I mean. You understand what I mean. But Richarlison gets in on
Okay,
stats.
but I'm just
ahead of a lot
saying,
of players,
if
but
we're
he's a
going to put
terrible player.
Vicario in because of stats, then Matty Cash.
Vicario gets in because Vicario's an absolute monster, and if you don't know what Vicario's
You
doing,
said
you
Vicario
can
gets
F off
in based
down
on
the
stats.
Ramsdale path. I don't care.
You said Vicario gets in based on stats. Well, Cash has got better numbers than Vicario.
Vicario gets in based on form.
Okay, and the form chart is saying at the moment that Matty Cash has contributed more goal scoring opportunities than
Doesn't
Pedro
it all
Porro.
depend though? Like this is the problem. Whenever we do this game, this is the problem. It's like
It's
Matty
opinion,
Cash and
isn't it?
Porro, first and
All right.
foremost. Hang on. First and foremost, they're
Yeah.
right backs. We shouldn't be saying who's got more goals and assists. For me, I don't think it's as simple as just going Porro. I think Cash and Porro both have their strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah, it's a close one.
Yeah.
Close
So
one.
maybe we do
But
a
I'm
push.
I'm gonna err on the side of Porro. You guys can err on the side of Villa. I understand that you two have always had your bias
Hang
for
on,
Villa.
hang on.
You always have.
I haven't had my bias. I was right
I
about
remember.
the summer.
I'm
I was
not biased.
right
I'm just
about
looking at the
the
numbers. If you're talking to centre backs, I'm taking both of ours over. both of them.
So let's move on. Let's move on to simpler conversations. Konza over Romero. Can we all agree?
No, Romero.
No,
Romero.
Thank you. Can we all agree that Pau Torres is a poor man's Clement Longley? And can we slide in Van der Ven into there, please? Can we
I
all
agree
with
100% with that
That's just what I said
statement.
on my argument. Outside of the defence,
No, hang
Our
on a second.
defence will be better than theirs.
Don't storm it. Don't change the.
I'm not
We're
strawmanning
going through
anything.
We're going through the defense. Can we all agree that as much as Luke, he's in my FPL team, I think he's a very good player. But can we all agree that Destiny Udogie is the best left back in the Premier League on form right now?
Based on what? Like this is what I'm not sure
Who's
what we're basing
better?
it on.
Who's better on current form this season than Destiny Udogie?
So far, only one
Based
person
on-
has held
based on
Mohamed
what?
Salah
Udogie-
goalless.
Udogie makes a lot of errors in terms of balls being played in behind him, yellow cards, that kind of stuff. That as this is the problem when we do this is we look at it purely as a Spurs perspective because we watch every 90 minutes and we go,
No.
"Oh my god, these players are great."
I watch
Did-
every Aston
did-
Villa game as well. I think I think he's a brilliant player, but I just think Destiny Udogie. I think the stats back it
Can we
up.
move on to the midfield? Can we move on to the midfield?
What
Well,
stats?
are you
What stats back it up?
accepting then that all four of the defence for Tottenham
I
get
said
in?
that before I
Okay.
said anything. I said
Okay, so
outside of the
we're already
defence.
so Tottenham are already 5 from 5. So Tottenham are already 5 from 5 in the mind of Henry
Hang
Wright.
on, no, that's
for
not
me.
true. That's not true.
Not
That's
for
not
me.
true.
Not
They're
for
not
me.
5 from 5. Because
What? Vicario
you said-
is ahead of Martinez.
Matty Cash has got better numbers than Porro. So Matty Cash
Oh,
starts.
what numbers?
And
Goals
Adogi
and assists.
and Digne have the same stats.
Well, there you go. So they cancel each other out.
What stats are you talking about? Interceptions, tackles. Well,
But-
no, he doesn't.
But the thing is, but they play in different teams that are asked to play in different ways. So sometimes this is the problem. The stats can all be skewed however you want them to be. Look, for me, it's like if we're putting Vicario in over Martinez based on 9 games, this is the goalkeeper that after the first 2 or 3 games, people like you, Sean, were saying, "Oh, I don't know, he's looked flappy and he
Who?
needs to get
I mean,
better."
people like me. What? Say that again.
After 2 or 3 games, Sean, you were saying, "Oh, Vicario, I don't know, I don't know, he hasn't filled me with confidence."
2
Now
or 3 games in the preseason.
You listen.
Yeah, Sean had to F off Danny Emirates. Now he's come back.
In the preseason, I said I was like, well, I don't know about this one, but
I just
can
think we're
prove me wrong.
right on
It's
people
okay.
who have been solid
Even
players
people
for a
like me
long
are
time.
occasionally. I'm okay with holding my hands up occasionally. Let's move on to the midfield. Does John McGinn getting to the Tottenham team ahead of who's the best person to compare him with?
I'd have McGinn.
Hang on,
or
let's do
over
Douglas
Papa
Luiz
Star.
over Bissouma.
No, you wouldn't compare McGinn to Missoumi. You'd compare.
You
him
compared
to
Luiz to maybe Pape Sarr, right?
Sarr.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, Luiz. I think Luiz is slow as shit, but he's played well this year. He's scoring goals. So
You just listen. Let's just admit you hate Aston Villa.
No, I hate people that artificially create stories that Aston Villa are phenomenal. They ain't.
Okay,
No one said they're phenomenal.
I haven't said they're phenomenal. I'm just saying. I'm not talking about Villa. I'm talking about their manager. Put some respect on their manager.
You're desperate for Aston Villa to do well so that you can prove me wrong.
I don't need to prove you wrong. The manager's got 4 European trophies. He's got more European trophies.
Hey,
than
when was the
Tottenham
last
Arsenal
European
combined.
trophy that Aston Villa won?
In the 80s, the Champions League, which we've never won.
Yeah, in the 80s, before you were born. Before
What
you
have
were
we done
born,
since
bro.
the 80s?
Before
What have
you
we
were
done since
born.
the 80s?
Aston Villa have spent more time in the Championship than Leicester
Okay,
City.
but what have we
in
done
the years
since
that
the
you've been alive.
80s? What have we done since the 80s? 2 League Cups, an FA Cup, and a
More than
Europa
Villa.
League.
More than Villa.
I would swap all of those
And
trophies
also,
for a
I
Champions League.
would say consistency in the top tier of football is something that shouldn't be understated. And Aston Villa
You're
can't
probably
claim
right,
that.
but at the moment,
Aston Villa can't claim that. So let's move on.
Can I tell you?
who's
just
going to win a
betting-
trophy this season, Sean? Tottenham or Villa?
Who's got a higher chance of winning a trophy this season?
No, who is going to win a trophy this season?
Villa is probably will
Well,
win.
there you
a
go.
trophy.
So Unai Emery's going to win his 5th European trophy. And if you don't like that, you can F off down to Birmingham City, mate.
Can I tell you, Sean, what I would do for the midfield and forward just to make this a lot simpler? Right? Forget the defence and the goalkeeper. We can have those debates. For me, for the midfield and forward, I would have Maddison and Basuma would absolutely definitely get in there. And either
Sonny.
McGinn or Luis, and either McGinn or Luis is the 3rd player because they're both better than Papa Sarr. And if people start saying they're not, that's just really silly.
Yeah. I'll give you Luis over Pape Sarr for sure.
And then up front, I would have Son, Watkins, and Diaby.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Yeah, so
Hang on.
I would have
chat.
two
I'm
centre
not
Aston
Aston
midfielders.
Villa
Villa
fan.
Villa get 3 players into the combined 11 right now.
In your combined 11.
No, your combined 11. You just said that, right? Or was it 4 players? You said
No,
Diaby, Watkins, Luis.
Yeah,
And everybody
I
else
would
is
go
seven.
with Diaby and Watkins get into our forward line with ease.
And Luis.
With absolute, they walk in.
Yeah. I'm
For me-
fine with that. And Luis, yeah. And Luis.
Luis or McGinn getting. And for me, look, I think when we're looking at cash,
But everything
Digne,
else is
Martin,
Tottenham.
For you, everything else is Tottenham. For me, I look at Porro. I think he's really suspect defensively, very suspect. And tonight against Palace, for me, really highlighted that. Digne, for me, I think he's a solid left back. I just think he does his job getting up and back. And I like a doggy, but again, I think people are going like again. I think we've pigeonholed someone into being breathtaking when they've only played nine games. But
half the team
listen,
half the team is not Villa. You're absolutely out of your mind. You're absolutely out of your mind.
That's
I like
crazy.
you. But you're
Lee,
absolutely
why are you still
out of
awake
your mind.
anyway? It's 10-2 in Spain.
Unbelievable.
If you can't see what
All I
Sevilla
know
are
is-
doing, or whatever athletic, or whatever team you support,
I
in
don't
Spain.
care about we talk about the back. All I know is I said if Spurs had Diaby and Watkins
Yeah, we
instead
just
of
need a couple more.
Richarlison,
We all know we Tottenham need a little
Yeah.
little drop.
If we
drop
had both of those two, I would. This is going to sound crazy. If we had Watkins and Diaby, I'd back us to go far in the race. In the
mate,
title
I
race.
agree. I agree, and I think
If you
that's
had
the difference.
Son,
When I
Diaby,
watch
Watkins,
Villa when they attack, especially at home, as Sean will point out, when Villa's forward three go forward, they look scared. They look
they're
like they're going to
incredible.
score every time.
They're incredible at home. They're
We
incredible.
don't.
And tomorrow I
we are-
expect Villa to win 6-0.
against
You know who else is incredible? The club in number 1 space, baby. You
There you
can't
go.
take me
There you
down before the international break. You ain't taking me down after the international break. What I want to tell you is who's sensational? Undefeated, baby. No L's. Aston Villa's got 2 L's in it, and I've heard they've taken 2 L's this very Premier League season. So, hey, I know all this love fest for others. They're great. Let's give them their dues, but let's give Tottenham some dues.
No, stop. This is where football, the YouTubers get it's not a love fest for others. It's if we get to the stage where we're literally sitting there saying all our players get in above every other player.
But half of
what
Villa
we
does
do
not
is-
get in.
Pardon?
I was just saying half of Villa does not get into our squad.
Okay, but the thing is, football turns very quickly. Football turns very, very quickly, right? This is the problem. If we're going to put our players on these pedestals that we're doing at the moment, that I'm seeing people go about Arsenal. Oh, only 3 of Arsenal's getting. Only 3 of Liverpool's. Only 3 of this. That's great, but then we've got to win. If we're going to have these conversations that we're better than all these other squads,
if we beat Villa, I can't wait. I want to get all 4 of you back on the stream. I'll even make a little bit of space for League
Don't worry,
Gunner if he
Sean,
wants to
we'll
come
be
on
doing
as well.
fan cams together, mate.
Yeah, I'll be at that game. Yeah.
What about Newcastle?
I'm going to pay, even if it costs £1,000 for a ticket to Villa away. I'm going to Villa Park this season, just in case Tottenham nick a win. I'll be getting a loudspeaker. I'll be getting the tannoy.
I just think Villa are. I think they've made brilliant strides, and I like watching them as an offensive team. When I watch Spurs as an offensive team, I'll be honest, I'm really underwhelmed.
Do you know what will be really good as well? Look at the signings that Villa have made under Johan Lange, or whatever his name is.
Yeah,
Like
Clement
some
Longley,
Watkins.
mate. Can't see what Clement Longley's all about.
Let's be honest. In the last 3,
He actually wasn't
three
his
windows,
buy. He
they
wasn't.
brought through Martinez, Cash, Buendia, Coutinho, Watkins, Diaby, Bailey, Kamara. Like, that's 8 really top signings for Villa. If he can do that with us, if he can do that with us in January, like, and Villa haven't gone out and spent 500-600 million quid. That's what we need to
Listen,
do.
guys, it's been a wonderful thing. I've got 4 things more to do. They're all very quick. One is, guys, you lot in the comments that are still here. There's still 600 people here. You've got 3 minutes to add your 5 points clear hashtag in, and we're going to do the draw right before the end. But before we do that, I'm going to give everybody a chance in the panel to plug their channels, and then the last thing we're going to do is do the draw. And whoever wins, you can either take a home shirt, or you can take the third.
Oh, Sean, just quickly, who have you captained this weekend on fantasy?
Watkins.
Oh, right, okay. Who is that one more time, just for the people at the back? Ollie Watkins.
Right, okay. Yeah, listen, who did you captain, mate? Because you love Aston Villa.
Signal's breaking up, mate. Signal's breaking up.
Who did you captain? Oh, that's right. Yeah, you didn't do it. You went for Salah, right?
No, but after all of this, you've captained Ollie Watkins.
No, mate, I admire Aston Villa, and I'm sitting there.
You hate them just because me and Sarah have complimented them.
620 points tells you know what you're doing at this stage of the season. Do you know what I mean? So all I'm going to tell you is, look, I know Ollie Watkins is going to get a hat trick tomorrow, but when he comes to White Hart Lane, Aston Villa are going to be stuffed, and you lot are all going to have to eat some humble pie, and that's fine.
Yeah, I'll hold my hands up.
I've not said they'll beat us at our ground. I've just said they'll score against us. I don't think they'll beat us at our ground. I think they will score against us. And as I said, look at chances we presented to teams like Palace. Look at Fulham if Fulham had goal scorers, they score
Sonny
goals.
was in my team, by the way, Lee. Sonny was in my team.
And you know, Villa did the double over us last year.
As
They
was
beat
Madison,
home and
we got an
away.
assist tonight, so I'm quizzing.
I need to
Quizzing
go
all
to
the
bed.
points.
I'm so tired. I've been streaming.
Stay there.
Since
Henry, let's finish. Yeah, we're well overdue to finish up. Sava, where can people find you, mate?
in my bed in 5 minutes, I hope.
Hey, is that an open invitation to the public or what?
Yay! Yeah.
You just said people could find me in my bed. Hey, I like to hear that, Sava. It's good.
Football Heritage TV is where they can find me. I think most people know they either love me or they hate me, and whatever.
If you want to see what Sava's doing, mate, you can F off down to AFTV.
Exactly.
You can find Sava on the link right now. There's still 600 people here. If you haven't already, just smash the link, smash the little link I put in there. It doesn't take you away from the stream. It's not going to exclude you from the draw that's taking place. But make sure you subscribe to Football Heritage TV. Jacob, thank you so much for coming on. Sava, thank you for coming on as well. Late one for us all. Jacob, what's going on? We're going to be redirecting over to Jacob. As soon as this is finished, he's going to go live. So if you are of that crazy mindset where you want to keep watching if you're in the UK, or if you are
keep the party going, come on.
If you are in other parts of the world where it's more convenient hours, then you can find more Tottenham love via Jacob's channel. Jacob, what's happening over on United Spurs of America?
The same thing as always, immaculate vibes, 50% logic, 50% emotion. And we're just always trying to have a good time, Hey, I'm honest, Sava. At least I'm honest, right? I'll tell you, sometimes my opinions are based in emotions, and sometimes they're based in logic. And a lot of times I'm incorrect on both, and sometimes I'm correct on both. So I'm okay with that. I will say this. Appreciate you inviting me. Appreciate that. Always a pleasure to share the screen with three legends. So just big up. Thanks for having me. And I like this. What was 2020 third kit background we got going on? It makes me feel like I'm in Cancun or Florida or something. So it's very nice. Makes me feel like nice and lively.
Yeah, I like it as well.
I know I'm supposed to be plugging my channel right now, but I'm enjoying myself. So
hurry up and plug your channel so I can go to bed.
United Spurs of America. That's where you can find me. We'll be there in just a minute. Well, I will be there.
All right,
no
guys.
giveaways
Absolutely
over there.
amazing. Look, Tottenham finished the week, or finished the evening as we go into the rest of the weekend, 5 points clear. But which one of you, 188 people, I can't believe there's only 188 entries. It's madness. But 188 entries. Here we go. One of them, what you're going to have to do is reach out to me on Instagram or on Twitter, or if you happen to be someone that has my number, then reach out to me on that as well, and I'll send it over to you as quickly as possible. Here we go. You ready? 3, 2, 1. Who's going to get it?
Good luck, everyone.
Let's draw it.
It'd be hilarious if Lee Gunner wins it.
Donovan Striker. There you go, buddy.
A great name. That's a wonderful name.
I already know this man. He's he lives in America, so it's going to cost me almost probably as much as the shirt itself cost.
I had to send one to text.
But Donovan, you've got 30 seconds, my man. 30 seconds to show your face, and we're going to count it down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Is he going to pop up?
6. Where are you, Donovan?
Donovan's
8,
a member on my channel.
9.
There he is.
They are.
Yeah!
Donovan.
Congratulations, buddy. Congratulations, Donovan, mate. Well done. Just reach out to me. Let me know whether you want the home kit or the third kit, and I'll post it over, and obviously send me your details either via Twitter or Instagram, and I will I'll send it over to you. Congratulations, guys. That is it. Henry, I haven't given you the chance to plug your channel. Obviously, your channel's still live with this right now, but where can people find you that are unaware?
Yeah, at Henry Wright TV on all socials. Just started a new TikTok. Going to be posting on there every few days. Be live. Well, we've got Tottenham Takes on Sunday. And then Monday, I'll be talking with Lee about how Sheffield United have won at the Emirates. Yeah. So big up to everyone who tuned in. Make sure you get over to everyone's channel and subscribe. Sean's, Jacobs, and Savas. And yeah, we're 28 games from a golden trophy, mate. So
Love it.
Happy
Hey,
day.
more than a
Also,
quarter of the
make
way
sure
there.
you subscribe to the new channel, Sean's Chair. It's growing wildly. Everyone wants a slice of that guy's opinion. Guys, we're going to leave it there. It's 1 o'clock in the morning here. So, but listen, yeah, Tottenham are
Can I
top
just
of the
say
table.
hello to your mum in the chat that is convinced I'm a cokehead? I find this hilarious. Everything is Sam as a cokehead. Oh, Henry couldn't have picked the wrong person to talk about that, could he?
Yeah.
I was boring as
Just
hell.
for
when it comes
context,
to that, I'm
Sav is
afraid.
not a cokehead.
Sam
Bags
doesn't
of
even
brass
drink
is
anymore, let alone coke.
He doesn't even eat mashed potatoes.
Oh, mashed potatoes. I know it's boring.
I mean, come on.
Anyway, we're going to leave it there on that lovely note, guys. We're going to say like, subscribe, and comment to all these lovely people. And we'll see you tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow for some more. But that's it from all of us. And come on, Tottenham are top of the league. And let's see what Arsenal and all that can do over the
Top
next
of
2
the
days.
league.
Come on, you
We're
Spurs.
top of the league.